Well, food is different. Food is different. Different. What's up, Phil? I'm gonna do this a little different. I got an idea. Paula had me thinking. So, just gonna show a picture while I read from my phone. Fuck it. But I just downloaded this fucking picture. Better be here. Okay, here it is. Of course, let's just give a shitty. Fuck, pisses me off. Anyway. I got a better idea. No, use this one. Ah, so much difficulties here. Well, if I wasn't going to show a picture, I would just do it on my phone. But I can't even do that from my phone, show a picture. So at least, yeah, it's when I share, it messes everything up. But if I just show a picture and don't move the mouse, we're good. So every time I go to scroll up and down, it'll start doing funny stuff. Okay. Now, let's go to my phone. Well, it's not the mouse. It's I've been when I have all my hotspot gigabytes, it doesn't do this. But when it gets low to my last 10%, this is what happens. So that's that. Do-do-do. Mysticism. Now we're talking. This is it? That's all they give you? What the fuck is this shit? Wow. That's all I got. Wow. Gotta download that too. I want that book. Yeah, yeah. I'm probably gonna try to go in to a couple stories just to replace shit I had to erase, and I'm gonna open the chat because I want to know what people think of this cosmic egg and what did you get out of what I was reading. So I'm gonna do the Egyptian one first because I've never heard this one. It says, where did we come from and how did our world begin? For thousands of years, people from cultures all around the globe have devised stories to explain the creation of their domains. The ancient Egyptians were no different in the regard by examining their religious literature and accompanying representations. We could come away with an understanding of how they explained the creation of the world in which they lived. Their beliefs were complex and reflected their natural environment. This, okay, talking about the essay. The Egyptian pantheon was filled with deities who inhabited the heavens, but whose influence was experienced on earth. So maybe for every star they created a deity. Um, they had a deity for everything, just like most ancestors, people, German tribes, and so on and so forth, did the same thing, just like the Native Americans will say, or the Aboriginals, or the Vikings, so on, had named a god or deity for everything. The trees, the oranges, anyway. In the pyramid texts of the Old Kingdom, which first appeared on the interiors of the pyramids of the kings of the 5th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, 2500 2350 BCE. We learn that the Egyptians regarded the sky as a dwelling place of their gods and a location connected to the afterlife, like the ether. They show that boat of their ancestors floating across the sky, the ether. Um, just as their daily life depended upon the Nile River, the Egyptians envisioned this heavenly realm as a landscape that divine beings navigated in sacred boats. Damn, that's crazy saying that after I just said that. It says the falcon-headed sun god Re. Doesn't say Ra, it's R-E. Re is adored by the priest, died found. Died found? Wow. The sun god Ra was of paramount importance to the ancient Egyptians, and the sun's daily passage from east to west and its daily rising and setting served as a metaphor for the cycle of life, birth to adulthood, to death, to rebirth. The omnipresent sun, it just bothers me when people say the sun sets. It just leaves our eyesight, it never sets. It don't go, it just goes out of our perception. The omnipresent sun is what largely, the omnipresent sun in what was largely a desert environment may also explain the early Egyptians' interest in solar concepts. At dusk, the sun god proceeded into the underworld, they thought. New kingdoms, blah, blah, blah. Says associated images found on the walls of royal tombs recorded his nighttime journey. The sun god spent 12 hours of the night traveling in the underworld, ultimately merging with Osiris, the primary funerary deity. The journey was treacherous, and the sun god faced his enemy, Apophis, a serpent, threatened him as he traveled in his solar boat nightly. So, damn, who we gotta look who Apophis is, what it represents. Another of Ra's important roles was as a creator god. The sun's reappearance on the horizon at dawn each day was a symbol of the recreation of the world. However, Ra was not the sole creator god in Egyptian mythology. The Egyptians had several elaborate myths describing the origins of their world. Each of these creation stories was centered at a different city in ancient Egypt. So they had Lower Egypt, that was near the Nile's Delta, and then they had Upper Egypt, which was by like Abydos, Thebes, Aswan, or Swan. The Hermopolitan cosmology arose at the site of Hermopolis in the Middle Egypt. Okay, it was near Amarna. Hermopolis was a city sacred to Thoth, the god of wisdom. Now, who else was the god of wisdom in the Christian Bible? Satan. The ancient Greeks equated Thoth with their god Hermes. I could be wrong, actually. I think Lucifer was the angel of wisdom. We're going to have to check that out. The ancient Greeks equated Thoth with their god Hermes. Yeah, Hermes was the messenger. So Thoth was too, I guess, right? So is Jesus. Jesus is Hermes, the messenger of God. Thoth with their god Hermes, which gave us the name Hermopolis. Oh, Hermes, okay. Hermopolis, or city of Hermes. The ancient Egyptian name for the city was Kemnu, or Kimnu, or 8 town. The number 8 is placed in this place. Name makes reference to the 8 deities. The Agdo, or the Agdoad, the Agdoad. Haha, what's up, Dean? who are the main characters in this version of the creation story. Yeah, this is going a little. This has nothing to do with the cosmic egg, man. Let me go a little further to see because yeah, this. Oh wait, here, yeah, it does. Okay, oopsies, I went too thought too quick. Peace, Soama. Soama would know a lot about this stuff. The ancient Egyptian name for the city was Kemnu, or Eight Town. The number eight in the place name makes reference to the deities, the Agdoad, who are the main characters in the version of the creation story. The Agdoad, you're saying that wrong, it's probably the Agdod, consisted of four frog-headed male gods and their serpent-headed female counterparts. This divine group represented the dark, watery, unknown, and eternal state of the cosmos prior to creation. Nun and Nonet represented water. He or He, H-E-H, it's got to be he or He, one of them two. And Hayet or Haet, no, the H is silent, Haet, expressed the notion of infinity. Kek and Kakek, Kakek stood for darkness. Amen and Amenet reflected the concept of hiddenness. These eight gods existed within the watery chaos of pre-creation. Within this unchanging nothingness, there was the potential for creation. The Egyptians believed that from the eight gods came a cosmic egg that contained the deity responsible for creating the rest of the world, including the primeval mound, the first land to arise out of the waters of pre-creation. Sounds like the mother giving birth, no? In some versions of the myth, the egg was laid by a goose named the Great Cackler, while in other versions, in Ibis, sounds like abyss, the bird associated with the god Thoth, is responsible for the egg. Thoth's appearance here in the myth is probably the work of the Hermopolitan priesthood, who wanted to recognize the importance of the city's patron deity. After the mound appeared, a lotus blossom bloomed, signaling the birth of the newborn sun god. After the sun made its first appearance, the rest of creation could follow. In some cases, this myth further describes the scarab beetle that emerges from the lotus. The scarab is often a solar symbol, and the next describe how this beetle transforms into a child. That be Osiris? When this child cried, its tears became humankind. Well, that sounds better than the last story I read, when we became parasites. We're going to get into that story again, so I had to erase the first line. The importance of the sun in the creation of the world is highlighted in another creation myth that makes reference to a collective of gods known as the Heliopolitan Ennead. These 9 deities, the Ennead, are mentioned in the Old Kingdom Pyramid text. This myth seems to have originated at the city of Lunu, or Heliopolis, meaning the city of the sun in Greek. Here, the creation of the world begins with the creator god named Atum, or Ra-Atum, just as we see in the Hermopolitan version of creation. There is a chaotic, watery state of pre-creation, in which Atum resides before he is born. Atum is self-created and arises in the shape of an obelisk-like pillar. the Benben in Heliopolis. Huh. So that's what that guy was talking about, the Benben stone. Now, this makes sense. He engenders by means of his own bodily fluids. To begin the creation of the world, Atum spits out a pair of divine beings. Damn, like mucus. Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, a Teflon nut. No, Tefnut, his female counterpart, the goddess of moisture. Shu, isn't Shu like Jesus Christ? Shu, I thought was the god of water. Anyway, it's blue. Shu is blue, if I'm not mistaken. Shu and Tefnut in turn produced the second generation of gods. Their son Geb is the god of the earth, and his sister wife Nut in the sky is the sky goddess. With the second generation, the Egyptian cosmos comes into existence and all the elements necessary for life on earth. The sun, air, moisture, land, and sky are now in place. The iconography of Geb and Nut together is particularly evocative. Geb appears as a human male lying on the ground, arched above him, separated by their father Shu. Stretches the figure of his sister wife. What? Whoa. Stretches the figure of his sister / wife. Nut. Damn, that's tough. Often shown as a nude female whose body is covered in stars. The Egyptians envisioned her arms and legs as pillars of the sky. Really? So maybe from between her legs she dropped a cosmic egg? No, I'm joking. The Egyptian envisioned the sky and each of her limbs as indicators of the 4 cardinal points. Before their separation by their father, Geb and Nut were able to produce another generation of gods, Isis, Osiris, Seth, and Nephthys. Isis, Osiris, in turn produced Horus. Alright, enough of these stories here. I want to go to that other cosmic story I was reading. This thing's long, man. I'll be here for centuries reading this. There's like 100 versions, that's why. Go back up to the other one I was reading. I don't want Pangu again. Pangu. This is the Chinese version of the cosmic egg. Pangu. Pangu. Also spelled Pangu. Central figure in Chinese Taoist legends of creation. Pangu, the first man, is said to have come forth from chaos, an egg. With 2 horns, right? I said this is the first one I had to erase. So now it makes sense. It says the first man is said to have come forth from chaos, an egg, with 2 horns or 2 tusks and a hairy body. Some accounts credit him with the separation of heaven and earth, setting the sun, moon, stars, and wandering stars in place, and dividing the 4 seas. He shaped the earth by chiseling out valleys and stacking up mountains. All this was accomplished from Pangu's knowledge of yin-yang, the inescapable principle of duality in all things. Another legend asserts that the universe derived from Pangu's gigantic corpse. And that's the one that London man, if you go check out his part 8, he speaks on the dragon. There's different versions, as we'll find out in a minute. I think it's the dragon, this guy, the phoenix, the tortoise. We'll find out. His eyes became the sun and moon, just like the dragon story. His blood formed rivers. His hair grew into trees and plants. His sweat turned to rivers, and his body became soil. The human race, moreover, evolved from parasites that infested Pangu's body. Isn't that sad? Now we're parasites. I always knew it. I knew it. These creation myths date from the 3rd to 6th century. Artistic representations frequently depict Pangu as a dwarf clothed in leaves. I'm going to stop there. It like completely went off the story into freaking something else. So there is 4 versions. Like 4 virgins. Oh. Virgin. 4 versions of the myth of Panku. It's Ku, but some say Gu. From the 3rd to 6th century AD, particularly in southern China, a popular creation myth centered around the immense generative power and fertility of the god Pan Ku. That damn word Pan. While it is claimed in the first of 4 versions of this myth that Panku arose out of nothing, that void was indeed a rich one, given its fecundity, one presumes it was conceived as an indistinct mass, as chaos or nothing, the potentiality of all matter, rather than as the absence or negation of matter. Creation proceeds by the development of increasingly distinct forms out of this original chaos. First, something evolves from the nothing. Within something, the fundamental creative powers, male and female, are delineated. And finally, the creator god Panku is born, a child of chaos. A variation of this myth envisages an equally close bond between Panku and chaos. In this instance, the beginning is depicted as a cosmic egg, a principle of fertility or wholeness and duality, from which the creator springs forth as the substance of the egg. Chaos is again the essential basis of creation, here forming the raw material in which the embryonic Panku develops and the stuff from which he makes the basic things of the universe. The 2 variant endings of the myth show Panku creating the world by self-sacrifice. In the first, his skull, like the top of the eggshell, becomes the dome of the sky, and his body becomes the elements of the earth. The vermin of his body are transformed into humans, who are thus still nourished by his being. In the second, more local variant, Panku's body forms the five sacred mountains of China, the identity of the world, but the sacrificed body of God is a powerful concept, though it, of course, the sacrality, sacrality, I don't know, sacrality of this world is established, but there is an implicit notion of tremendous sacrifice and loss, the irrevocable end of the golden age when the creator God existed. It says one, two, hold on. Okay. At first there was nothing. Time passed and nothing became something. Time passed. I read these already. The second myth story. First there was the great cosmic egg. Inside the egg was chaos, and floating in chaos was Panku, the undeveloped, the divine embryo. Panku burst out of the egg 4 times larger than any man today, with an axe in his hand, or hammer and chisel, with which he fashioned the world. 2 great horns grew out of his head. The horned head is always the symbol of supernatural power in China. 2 long tusks grew from his upper jaw, and he was covered with hair. I pictured that as in Ninja Turtles. They got that pig, that tusk coming out of his mouth, his lower jaw. Panku went to work at once, mightily, to put the world in order. He chiseled, I already said that story. It says the third story, the world was never finished until Panku died. Only his death could perfect the universe. From his skull was shaped the dome of the sky, and from his flesh was formed the soil of the field. From his bones came the rocks, from his blood the rivers and seas, from his hair came all vegetation. His breath was the wind, his voice was the thunder. His right eye became the moon, and his left eye the sun. From his saliva or sweat came rain, and from the vermin which covered his body came forth mankind. When Panku wept, his tears became the Yellow River, and when he died, his body formed the 5 sacred mountains of China. The Tai Mountain in the east rose from his head, the Sung Mountain in the center from his body, the Hang Mountain of the north rose from the right arm, and the Hang Mountain of the south from his left. Hui Mountain in the west grew out of his feet. It is said Panku's image can still be seen in a cave cherished by the Mao tribe, or the Miao tribe. Miao tribe. Mihao. Huh. They say they greet you in China. Mihao. That's, I think, the Miao tribe in the mountains of Guangxi. And that, along with the image of Panku, stand also images of the 3 great sovereigns who followed him, the Lord of Heaven, the Lord of Earth, and the Lord of Man. You ever notice on your phone, if you hold down the space bar on your phone, you could move the you're typing, you could move the thing that blinks. I don't know what you want to call it, but I just learned that. Okay, it's Norse, not Viking. Hold on. Yeah, that's the picture I got. Norse. So now there's a Norse creation myth. It's called cosmogony. Um, oh, trying to get all of them. Discuss each cosmic egg story because I just did Egyptian, Chinese. I know this more. Yeah, let me see this picture. It'll tell me. You got Persian, Slavic. Let's hear the Slavic one. All right. AI, peace. Okay, it says it all began with the golden egg hatched in the darkness. Inside the egg was Rod, huh? The soon to be creator of this world. Shit, what did they replace the R with a G, right? They call him Rod, not God. That's crazy. Um, the soon to be creator of the world. He grew lonely, so he created himself a companion, Lada, the goddess of love. The eggshell cracked and out spilled love and light. The Slavic myth of creation is quite a paradoxical story, reminiscent of the Big Bang Theory on the one hand, and on the other, qualifying Rod as the closest that ancient Slavic religion got to monotheism, since he embodies the single all creator from whom everything else came into being. Since before his arrival, everything was one. Whoa. So before Rod's arrival, everything was one. So Rod split it into the duality. Rod separated the light from the dark, the truth from the lie, the good from the evil, and the heavens from the oceans, placing the earth in between. He created the world and the heavenly bodies from his own body. The sun is his face, the stars are his eyes, the night are his thoughts. Wow, wow, wow. I love this story. The winds are his breath. Damn, you need to brush your breath. The rain and snow are his tears, and the thunder is his voice. He created everything on earth and in the sky, and then he created other gods to keep order in his newly founded three kingdoms, the heaven, the earth, and the underworld. He also planted the seed of the world tree, a giant oak, whose roots spring from the underworld, the kingdom of the dead, whose trunk runs from the earth, the kingdom of living, and whose crown holds and supports the skies and the heavenly kingdom. Now, they say the underworld is death, but how is that? If they say the underworld is death, you plant the seed into the underworld, and what happens? It gives life. So life is death, death is life. After his creation, Rod, in quite Nietzschean manner. I can't say that word, it's like German or something. Removed himself, or rather continued existing indirectly in all its creation, leaving the management of the world affairs to all the other gods that had sprung from him. Hence, no records of Rod can be found in any of the official Slavic pantheons, since he didn't manifest himself as any other traditional god, but rather existed obliquely as an inherent part of the world itself. I think they added in that ending just to discredit that beautiful story. What was the other one? Slavic? Hmm. Let me see a picture of mom. To look up. We did the Greek and Egyptian are like basically the same. So I'll go into the Hindu version. And then I'll open up the Chizza chat. The golden womb of the cosmic egg. Creation stories abound in all culture, world, and shut up. What happened? Wow. Brahmanda, the cosmic egg. We have still the broken materials of the first world, and walk upon its ruins. While it stood, there was the seat of paradise and the scenes of the golden age. When it fell, it made the deluge. And this unshaped earth we now inhabit is the form it was found in when the waters had retired and the dry land appeared. The present earth was made hollow and cavernous, and by that means capable of combustion or of perishing by a universal fire. My body, says he, was not hid from thee. When I was made in secret, curiously wrought in the lower parts of the earth, thine eyes did see my substance being yet unperfect, and in my book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them, or being at first in no form. How precious are thy thoughts to me, O God. This turned Christian on me. Also hath aptly expressed, aptly expressed first rudiments of the body, or that little chaos out of which it risen. Cosmic man. Cosmic man is the archetypical figure that appears in creation myths. So what happened to the egg story, man? Brahma's egg, here we are. Should have scrolled down. The earth was once a giant egg, but the action of the sun making volatile the waters of the deep within. The shell cracked and the waters rushed forth, the deluge. Fragments of the shell now form the mountains and the continents of our present world. The ancient Hindus called Brahma the cosmic atom, the embodiment of Brahma, particularly the solar system, physical, psychological, and spiritual. The idea is that the cosmic atom is Brahma's egg, from which the universe shall spring into manifested being. As from the egg the chick comes forth, in its turn to lay another egg. Each of the cosmic eggs are universes, giving birth. Interesting. Interesting. So this could be an infinite realm with many eggs. This so-called chick keeps giving birth, right? What is a woman called? A chick. Very interesting. I like this story too. Man, they make more sense than Adam and Steve's story. Each of these cosmic eggs or universe gives birth after its rest period has ended to its own offering, each of the former derived in similar manner from its own former manvanteric egg. This cosmic egg was sometimes said to be dropped by the mystic bird Kalahamas, Kalaamsa, Kalaamsa, the swan of eternity, or to be the result of Brahma's ideation. The essential difference between the body of the embryo and an elemental proper is that the embryo, the future man, contains in himself a portion of each of the four great kingdoms, to wit, fire, air, earth, water, while the elemental has but a portion of such kingdoms. Elementals, the fire, are not found in water, nor those of air in the fire kingdom, and yet it as much as a portion of water is found not only in man, but also in other bodies. Elementals exist really in and among each other in every substance, just as the spiritual world exists and is in the material. But the last are the elementals in their most primordial and latent state. Another class are those elemental beings which will never evolve into human beings in the present Manvantara, but occupy, as it were, a specific step of the ladder of being, and by comparison with the others may properly be called nature spirits or cosmic agents of nature, each being confined to its own element and never transgressing the bounds of others. That was by that person, Blavatsky. But why is Blavatsky writing Hindu stuff? As the sun arises every morning on our objective horizon, out of its subjective and antipodal space, so does the universe emerge periodically on the plane of objectivity, ensuing from that of subjectivity, the antipodes of the former. This is the cycle of life, and as the sun disappears from our horizon, more like our eyesight, so does the universe disappear at regular periods. When the universal night sets in, the Hindus call such altercations the days and nights of Brahma, or the time of Manvantara, and that of Pralaya, dissolution. There were several great ages. I don't want to read no more, because this goes on for like another 20,000 years. But it was fun reading. See you guys later. Peace. I'm fucking with you. Got him. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to erase the other live I did. Right? I think imagination and all that was never taught by anybody. I think it was within our DNA, just like a lot of stuff. If we never went to school, imagine how clear our minds would be, like connecting. We would always get stuff from within. You know, it wouldn't be taught from a fucking teacher in school. I think it would be within if we never went to these indoctrination camps. It's so much fucking better. What's up,
Hi,
Paula?
Justin. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, nice. So that went much smoother than the first time, so I was right. Just read to us, don't show us, use one picture, and you glitched just a tiny little bit, but that's normal for anybody right now on the internet, you know? It wasn't bad at all like the first time. That first time was a clusterfuck.
It's because like I'm at my last 10%, probably. Who knows where I'm at now, but it always does that when I'm running out of hotspot. And I look at the prices. I have to figure a better way, man. I might just get cable, period.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll get unlimited, leave the deal I got, and still get cable. Better.
Yeah, whatever's cheaper, but it's going to give you more, you know.
Yeah, I need
More
high speed.
Mm-hmm.
I need that high speed internet.
Yeah.
Because I only get 25 gigabytes of high speed, and then the rest is normal. I go through that in no time. I'm always
exactly.
reading and like I never knew there was the Chinese. Cause I heard of Pangu or Panku. I have talked about him with Bex a long time ago. I think when Bex first came here, and I was explaining that's the creation story. And I like the creation story of what was the one I just read?
The Egyptian one?
No, that's more, I don't know. It's Egyptian stuff confuses me a little bit because you would have to learn each god individually to understand everything. There's so many.
Yeah.
But you know who's good with the Egyptian stuff? So I'm his friend there. Forgot her name. She came on here a few times. She seems very intelligent. But I like to stick with the I like the Chinese one a little bit, but the German one I just read, or better yet, the what's the German? Dude, can't even remember.
Yeah, I think what they're doing to us
Slavic.
is they're trying. The Slavic. Okay.
Slavic.
Yeah,
That's my favorite one. Yep. Slavic version of the Cosmic Egg makes so much sense.
when you let Dean
The
up,
Hindu one's
it
pretty
makes
good
a
too.
glitch. It made your audio glitch when you
I know.
let Dean up. That's weird.
I see that.
I can end that right now. It's the picture, that's all.
Well, we've seen it. Maybe you should stop showing it so that maybe your audio straighten back up again. Because it was kind of glitchy before you let him up.
Before you let them up.
Hi, Dean.
Hello, Paula. How are you today?
A little frustrated from, as you could see in live chat. I did everything you said you do to make sure my voice to text works right, and it just keeps resetting itself back to fuck Paula over.
Actually, I don't even use the voice to text anymore,
That's so
actually, because I find the bloody thing actually mistakes my bloody voice for another word. I don't
well,
know what it does.
the thing that happens to me, and I don't know if it happens to anyone else, is when I type it out or I say it, it doesn't even matter which one I do. Whether I type it or I say it, I check it because of the trauma of it all. I check it, it's good, I send, and once it posts, it's all changed.
I know.
On the send, on the post, it rapes it on the way through. Face plant!
I feel like it's like a little bot, you know, Paula. I feel like AI's got all these little bots, right? And we all get assigned them. You know, like AI or some program in the fucking Matrix has programmed little bots to go about people's lives and just to monitor them, right? Yeah. And if they feel like those people are actually getting slightly like left of centre, then they start bloody doing stupid stuff to you. So they can, I don't know. It's like if they can cause enough frustration in the people, then the people aren't looking, they aren't worrying. They are, you know, fuck. I'd rather not do all that. Then I won't get to your frustration, and then I'll have a peaceful life, kind of stuff. You know.
Yeah, they're trying to stress you out so you won't post, you won't even be there, you'll just leave altogether. But that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I feel like the same. And I actually think, the bastards are doing it. And, if you look at the programs that a computer can run, it only needs an arsehole making a computer to put everything in there that's going to fuck you up,
Yep.
A guy like Bill Gates, I heard Bill Gates was one of these guys that was one of the first to program bloody computers, and he was one of the first to bring in viruses, So I mean, when you got mental mind fuck like that.
What face plant?
Yeah, Bill Gates made the first virus, like to test the system. So it's all virus.
Oh boy,
it's all virus.
Don't say that.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
I think what you're
saying.
We
can't say his name. Gil Bates. We have to say Gil Bates.
What you're saying about
Gil Bates.
What you're saying about the bots.
I don't like talking about medical shit ever.
Before the
I'm
internet.
not even talking medical.
Oh no, we're talking about viruses for computers. We're good.
And computers. We're not talking about bloody medical shit. This is, this is viruses and computers.
Technical
bots
stuff.
You're talking about, the demons can use those bots. Like the demons existed before the internet did, right? The demons that are pestering us all the time are assigned to us too, I think, Dean.
I think you might be right there, Kenneth. I mean, I've been in denial. I've been in denial of demons, but then I feel like demons are basically part of the human population that went right of center instead of left of center, right? Like I feel like the people that had control over people right from the word go, in the very instances like bullies and these sort of people, when they died, they became the assholes that fucking roam around this place making a fucking nuisance of themselves.
They're like gremlins.
Yeah.
They go around, they ruin everything. Yeah.
What do you think about, well, since we were created as parasites falling from that dragon, Pangu. That's what did it say?
I
We're
think-
parasites.
I
Yeah,
think
we're
That's what it
parasites.
said.
came after too. I don't think there used to be parasites on the earth. I think they came with whatever else other nasty shit came in.
Well, I think the parasites and all the earth. If you have a look at the earth, when something dies, it takes something that's like a parasite to clean up the mess, or
Right.
a microorganism,
Now we're talking.
that seems like a parasite to us, but it's
Let's stay on
actually
that
a
topic.
very
real quick.
beneficial. It's a very beneficial thing. Sorry, bro.
And those
I'm
aren't
glad you said that,
parasites.
Dean.
Parasites live on living hosts.
Yes,
Well,
and
well,
I have something to
How
add to
about
that.
my buddy over
Well-
here that got hit by a car? When he was dead, the other day I walked by, there was maggots, flies. It was gone within 24 hours. All that's left is its hair and
Yeah.
bones. Now look at
Yeah,
dead
they like
trees. What are them things? Termites eat dead trees. They're like parasites. When the trees are dying, the termites eat it all up.
Well, actually, it's amazing, but termites only eat hardwood, right? They do not eat sapwood. And so
Oh.
you can have a tree that's fucking like 100 years plus old, and they'll eat the center out of it. The outside will still be alive, right?
Yeah,
But it's
there's
only the
not-
hardwood
yeah.
of the center that they eat, right?
Yeah,
Because when
but the thing,
London, I just want to say London did a good job of part 8 when I watched it in the dragon story that because there's 4 versions. You got the man, the dragon, the phoenix, or the tortoise of the cosmic egg. The Chinese have 4 different versions.
So what is
I
it?
love the
Multiple-
tortoise. That's where I'm at. I like the tortoise. Yeah.
what
is
what
it
did you read
multiple
in?
choice?
Is it multiple choice? No, it's all of the above. I think. I think
Yeah,
it was all of the above.
Different
But
times.
then you said it's when you were reading it, didn't it say that we were parasites, right?
Well, yeah, one
Yeah.
version said that
Okay.
we
Yeah,
fell
Now
off
I
the
nobody's-
dragon's body.
I have something to
Nobody's
say
gonna-
about that
parasite.
because
Bring it. Bring it.
that's how it is when a woman is pregnant with a baby. The baby feeds off of the mother in order to grow.
Yes.
And where
And
do
that's why they
parasites
find
lay?
it easy. That's why they find it easy to perform the abortions, because they see it as just a parasite.
Well,
That's what I think.
look
I mean,
at
it
That's,
kind of
that's
is.
pretty good, actually, Paula. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
but to me, the sperm is more like a serpent. The way it wiggles. And
I
goes through the
believe
water.
that's the case as well. The sperm is the serpent. Yeah.
There's a serpent
You know, I wrote.
surrounded the
I read
egg.
it.
In the
That's
egg.
the same. That's the same as the sperm going into the womb.
Mm-hmm. The sperm goes into the egg, so you got the serpent
Yep.
and the egg.
Yep.
You know, the Bible tells us to be, what is it? To be not in the world, but of the world, right?
No.
But
It
I'll
says,
take that
like-
right out of there, and I'll just turn
I'm
around.
in
And I'll
the world, but I'm not of the world. I love the
yeah,
world,
but I will
but
go.
I'm not
I will
of
go
the
next.
world.
Let's take the Bible, buddy, bits out of it, and just go. I'll be of the earth and in the earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
because
of the
I'm
earth
of
and in the earth, but we're not of the world that's on top. The world that's on
Yeah.
top of the earth is the matrix.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Come up,
I mean-
Bex.
Yeah, Bex, it's taking you so long, woman. Dragging ass and shit. What the hell? I thought as soon as he shared that link, she'd be in as quick as me. So I was trying to get in to
She-
beat her, which I did.
She
But I
probably
thought she-
thinks I'm mad at her.
No, she doesn't think you're mad at her. Why would she think you're mad at her?
Because I wrote in the chat, I'm falling back. I couldn't get a word.
Oh shit. You wrote in the chat what? You went all computer on me.
I know.
Oh,
Trying to turn
oh no,
Huh? Does anybody understand what he just said?
no, it's scratchy.
One more again there, Chuck. Why would Bex think you were mad at her?
Because of
Crap.
what I wrote in the chat when I left it yesterday. You can't hear me?
Okay, I can now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hold on. Trying to let her up.
Oh, good. She's coming up. Okay. There she is. Ooh, that's pretty. That's a pretty avatar picture.
Yeah,
Mm, that
yeah.
is.
No, I was gonna pretend. Oh, thank you. I was gonna pretend. Holy, I got an echo. A sec.
I don't hear an echo, but okay.
Just a sec. Just
Good
me.
morning, good evening,
Okay.
Bex.
Good morning. I was gonna pretend get mad at you, but then I realized sarcasm is the lowest form of wit, so I didn't think it was a good way to enter the room. It's still witty. It's just the lowest form. I'm not judging anyone. The wit is good, right? So
Yeah.
no, I knew. Yeah. I mean, I took it as a learning lesson, actually, Charles, because, you know, as you've graced me with such, you know, you all have graced me with so much, allowing me so much time to learn and talk and, you know, get it off my chest, which it's still, we're only skimming the surface of the iceberg. But
I
that being
wasn't
said,
aiming that at you, though.
no, I know I was saying, but that's why I was just going to say that, you know, I feel like if I'd been, you know, if I was more skilled at understanding how complicated the task of the host actually is, if you really wanted to try and manage the way the panelists want you to, it's very difficult. So, but my point is that it just gave me an opportunity to understand how better it would be for me to learn to be quiet when people are talking and make sure that I definitely want Charles like to come and talk on my channel and hang out and be quiet like he is here. And you know what I mean? Like, you know, and just allow that to be natural. So I wasn't at all upset. I know you just say things like they are, you know? So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I apologize for being an ignoramus because I don't have a channel and I don't know what it's like. Sometimes
yeah, it's hard.
I'm a little bit ignorant about that and inconsiderate, I think, sometimes.
You know, your audio was better when it was just the three of us and the four of us. So, like, now that there's 5 in here, your audio's gone down for me. Anyone else?
Is that with Faceplant only?
Yeah, just with him.
Yeah.
What the hell? It was great.
Hard.
I was feeling that his audio was great
it's
today.
my connection.
What about my audio?
You're good. You're always good.
It's hard running a show.
Mine is weak. So when there's more people on, it's weaker, I think.
Well, I guess hold the thing up to your mouth when you're talking so I can hear you then, please.
It's hard running a show because I don't want to be people to come across me as being a dick if like people are over talking to each other, or trying to stay on topic. You gotta like steer the bus. Sometimes it gets people take it the wrong way, and they think you're trying to be a dick, but that's never the case.
I know it's a lot of hard work running a live.
It is.
Chuck, I get that, and I'm sure that Bex, after the last few days,
she has learned
probably ironed out a lot of things for herself as well. I'm guessing that all of us, who, no matter how we go about this thing, are all going to expect to hit some trials and some tribulations. And so anyway, it all comes down to how we approach it, I guess, you know. I mean, if you're going to come at it like a bull at a gate, the bloody thing's bound to go haywire, aren't you? So, you know, I think
People-
probably we just have to be patient with the damn shit,
Yeah.
you know. At the end
People
of the day.
people need to be understanding about how hard it is for the person who's live to have to mute somebody or drop them back to backstage because maybe they're being unruly because they're overexcited. That is not easy for the person who's running the show to have to do, because asking nicely doesn't always work in the middle of the excitement. And then you have to
Yes,
worry about
I mean, I got a little
right.
bit of just a gist of that in chat yesterday when I made a comment, and Bex knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure. And she asked if I would delete it. While I was trying to delete it, she'd already done that. But you know, I mean, it wasn't deleted for me. It's still in my vision, even though she may have deleted it. So I carried on and deleted it anyway.
That's weird.
That
is so weird. It should have been gone.
Yeah, it was funny. She said to me, "It's deleted," and I thought, I don't know. It looks like it's still there. So I carried on and deleted it anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I just left the fiasco, so to speak. I'll call it a fiasco, because there was just too much sauce for me, and I'm not into all that bloody stuff. I mean, if people want to go down that road, they can do so. You know, and that's up to them. It's their prerogative. But for me, I'm not into that stuff. I don't like the sauce. I don't want to get involved with the sauce.
Well, you don't know what
as far as I'm concerned, Tommy's sauce, and I'm only going to say it here because I used the word, his name, but it's just, to me, confusion. All these, I don't want to go into that.
Confusion. People who, I swear they try to confuse you just so that you don't understand them, so that they can feel like they're smarter than you. But when
that's what I feel like.
What they're trying to do, that proves that we're smarter than them. Yes.
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 I skip. Sometimes I skip through videos and there's nothing on it. There's no information there. Like I'll just skip through it and it's just fucking bitching at each other.
Yeah. I want to stay on the topic of the cosmic egg. I want to ask Bex about it. What is Bex saying?
Yes. What do you think, Bex?
About the cosmic egg? Yeah, it really seems to fit all the models, you know. And given the fact that so many people can believe, and I think that belief has to have some truth to it, like that faith, that faith that is so allows you to be so indoctrinated, right? So it kind of actually allows that part of the truth to allow us to understand, you know, maybe some kind of like, you know, eggs being held in some sort of like ocean outside us, right? Like sort of like it's maybe more
but
like
the thing is, what I find the word cosmic, because I mean, to me, we got to break that word down a little bit. To me, cos means it's kind of like ecosmic, you know, like it's not really outside in a bunch of water as such, because I don't see birds laying on water. I see birds. I mean, I can see this as a cosmic egg in the sense that it came from a bird, and therefore it would come from a place of, basically, I would say, like maybe on the sand. Like a pied stilt does in the beaches, or you know, I mean, lizards just randomly dig a hole in the sand and put an egg in there.
Yeah.
Birds can scratch a hole or dip in the sand and make a nest.
Yeah.
But I don't, I don't see it as something in the water. I mean, I just don't.
I do.
Yeah.
I see it like as above, so below. I look at like the cosmic egg as being as from micro
I
to
feel like
macro.
all the moisture is in the egg, not
Well,
outside of it.
Well, hold on. Think of it like this, because the more I've been looking into the cosmic egg, the more I think of the mother's womb and the sperm. The snake being the sperm, going into the egg of the woman. That's the micro. The micro level, or the macro would be in the giant, our realm.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting when you're talking like inside and the womb and that. But I mean, we've had chickens that have, they've still got the egg yolk attached to their bum after they've been hatched. Right?
It sounds funny.
True, bro.
I've never seen that.
True.
That's crazy.
And you give them about 5 or 6 days, and they'll suck all that egg yolk into their body, bro. Like they're still growing on it, even after they've left the egg. Right? So I feel all the moisture is inside, not outside.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
See, we've all been indoctrinated with the heliocentric model, right?
Yes.
And now that that's BS, we're grasping at anything to replace it, and a lot of it doesn't make sense to me either. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like what you were saying in live chat. That
How do you apply it? It's an egg. Like, what do we do with it then? Like, how do we apply that to how we live?
I think it's describing life, how it happens on every level.
So it's allegory then.
Yes, it's an allegory. Yes.
Yeah. More or less
It's
like
for the serpent
Bible.
and the egg, the sperm and the egg. Yeah.
They take real life and they add these deities or gods or whatever you want to label, and they make stories, which confuse people instead of them telling the actual story of a man and woman making love and creating life. They make stories of,
Yeah, which is insane. Yeah. Like the sun is the life giver. So it's the God of this world. Without it, we all die.
I noticed that a particular channel was right into Egyptology, and then we find out all that Egyptology is fake shit from the 1800s. It was all made up in the 1800s, and they're going for hours.
You're getting low. You're getting low.
You're fading, man. Don't fade on us, faceplant.
Yeah. His faceplant. What I've been saying about the Egypt, about the 1800s, and chiseling that stuff in. They showed pictures of the pyramids without the hieroglyphs, and then all of a sudden they have hieroglyphs. So then it's not thousands of years old, right? Faceplant. You seen that?
Yeah.
They had that BS story ready for everybody who was looking for something else, and then they're gonna bullshit about Egypt for years and years and decades and go deeper and deeper into all the intricacies of it, and it's all BS. It's a distraction.
Yeah, mass distraction. Yeah. Yep, I hear what you're saying. I also see what you're saying. Yes.
That's why I say we're God. We are these stories. That we are everything.
I'm with you on that, Charles.
Me too.
I like the cosmic egg story because it resonates better, especially the one that I just read.
Well, we could all write our own version
Slavic.
of our own understanding of how it all came about, right? As a child, you could put us all into a classroom and you could say, right, write out your version of how this world began. The stories would be many and varied. And Some of them would have similarities, all depending on the script that had fed the mind that made that story, right?
Exactly. Like the story of Dean, Paula, Chuck, Bex, and Faceplant. Yes.
Yes.
They would resemble each other, but because we're all different, the story is going to slightly change. But it's still basically the same because we are all the same deity. We're
we're all brought up with the same language, right? And the same like ways of spelling and sounding words, right? You know, I mean, if I say this too, is, you know, like a child who's grown up in the school and believes that space exists, that even if you change their change that story in them, they got to 30 years old and they believed in space. They believed that galaxies existed within galaxies beyond galaxies. And they made up a story in their head about what space looked like. If you took that out of their mind by telling them about flat Earth, they'd still change the way of looking at the shape of the Earth, but the stories of Spaceballs and stuff would still be part of their imagination. They wouldn't be able to shake that out of there because it's been ingrained into their mind. And so when they build their new story, it's still going to have part of the old script in it, right?
Yeah. Heliocentrism is like Saturn worship. All this, like I've always said, they took us out of the egg and they put us on the outside of the egg, which cannot exist ever in anything. You'd slide right off the egg.
Cool. Yeah.
Here is something that I'd like to add to the discussion. I think that Dominique's sort of philosophy of there's beings here having a spiritual experience and there's spirits here having a being experience. I might be paraphrasing there, right? So that's why, for instance, Paula really feels, you know, Paula knows she's not from here, right? She's from somewhere else. And she's come here. She's a spirit having a being experience. And Dean is, I'm from here. Like, use the word Earth, you know, stop talking about your worldly world. Okay. Meanwhile, Paula's like, the worldly world trapped me here, Dean, right? You know? Yeah. And so Dean, you're the being having a spiritual experience, right? Now we're all in the cosmic egg, right? Yeah. We all come from the mother and the father, you know? So that's the some of the binary would be, look at those two systems when they first merged, you know, and we may really be, you know, hitting a bit of a chord on why we can have so much conflict between us all. And then when it comes to spelling, you know, I would say if we know that people can cast spells on us, you know, and we know that we're gods, right? Then our words are also casting spells back to them, right? So it's not the word, even though those words do become sigils in our brains, right? Because of all the propaganda. So for instance, that's why this world hurts Dean so much, because it's his Earth. And I can say it's my Earth too. You know, if I had to pick a side, even as much as then I'm gonna pick the I'm a being having a spiritual experience over the I'm a spirit having a being experience, because I know that I'm from here, you know, and it hurts me too, though. But I'm still in the we're still all here in a mixed up place, right? Yeah. So, and that to Dean, that word, you know, that word really hits hard in his, because he is an activist, you know, he set the stage for this feelings. And he actually has a very strong force in this Earth. It is his voice that was elevated through Greenpeace, etc. You know, so he actually has connection to the, you know, they reinforce that sigil of propaganda, let's just say, it's not propaganda to Dean, it's reality, but it's been used. He can see now the tool it's being used as, right? So I've encouraged Dean, to understand that they're manipulating that bright light, right? And so you're the one with the power. No words affect you, right? Now, some still do because this world thing does, but understand it affects you because you were supposed to be anchored to the earth. The understanding for other people between the words, they're not feeling the same feeling from that word. There's so many millions of things that can be connected to these programmed stops in our brain since our grandparents were born, so to me, that's where we have to get back to the understanding of we all that nothing can affect us, that we're just defragging the system right now. All the words. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
All power to you, Bex, for what you're saying, and I understand it, and you do have got across to me in that way. But I feel like that. Those little what do they call? He used blueberries, I think, around the bird on the table, right? I feel like each of those are all the eggs from the bird, and they're scattered across the Earth plane, like the Earth itself. So they're all Earths. They're not worlds as such, but they're all Earths. And Paula might have come from one of those other Earths as a spirit before she became a being. She landed on the wrong bloody one, or her spirit got removed from there and taken to a new one. And I'm kind of
to come here to help us.
I did come to help. That's what it says in my birth chart. I came to help, and then I got trapped.
Yeah. So it's like I felt that when I was a little boy. I used to think, crikey, did the aliens just drop me off on the way past? And they're thinking, like, drop kick this idiot out of the bloody craft and leave him there because we don't want him anymore, right?
Dolores Cannon said there was a rescue crew that came. I'm part of the rescue crew.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've watched all of Dolores Cannon before. When I first came to YouTube in 2011 or 12, in 2011 or 12, I was watching Dolores cook, right?
Yeah. I think I was the third rescue crew that came and got trapped here. I think. I'd have to go back and rewatch her, but I think I'm the third rescue crew, the third batch that came, because they keep getting stuck here. But I think I found the way out with the butterfly cluster, so there's that. I mean, the first two things I found in Stellarium was the manger, which is, home, and then the second thing I found was the butterfly cluster, which after I found it, I found out it's where you overcome the cycle of reincarnation.
Well, so this is very interesting, and I'd like to just relate something that that I had an experience of when I was in my 40s. Mm-hmm. That's about when I actually late 30s, 39 I think was when I had my first astral experience, out of body experience.
Okay.
And the how it happened was that I decided, bugger it, I was unhealthy as hell. I needed to give up some stuff. So I gave up smoking. Everything, and I smoked. All stuff. Weed and tobacco. And whatever else I partook of. And I gave up drinking. I gave up smoking. And I just started eating organic food and drinking fresh river water only. And I started to work on myself to have these astral travel or astral events sort of thing. And I've been talking a bit about it with a few friends and read these books. I read a book called Supernature. I read these other books by Lam Singh Rampa. I think he was Lam Singh Rampa. He was a a monk in
Yeah, I know who
India
you're
or
talking
somewhere.
about. I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay, so yeah, so I'd read all those books, and so I was starting to have these things that I wanted to be like get out of body experience, and so I started to do these astral travels. But I didn't realize, and I'm only just looking at it now as to why I stopped doing it. And I found now, just looking back at it all, is that I got off the path of wanting to find what I wanted to find in my astral travel. I got waylaid
Yeah.
by my own circumstances, and I forgot what I actually wanted to do. And what I wanted to do, and I just sort of just thinking about it now, and what I wanted to do actually was to go and find some other place outside of where we were. And,
Wow.
like, because I believed at that time that, because I didn't believe it wholeheartedly that we were on a ball, but it was there in my head. And so I wanted to find these other galaxies. I wanted to find these other worlds within worlds, way out in the cosmos was somewhere, right? And so that's what I wanted to do. But I never went there because I got caught up in shit and I got lost in the source, right? I got lost in the source.
Okay.
And I never followed up what I wanted to do. And I'm looking back at it now and I think, holy hell. Now, imagine I talked to you guys then and we were doing this now. Oh man, would I be having some different experiences? I know it, but I still can't figure out why I can't get my shit back to that stage in my life. I just can't. I don't know what it is. I've got a block somewhere that won't allow me to go back there, right? I don't know what it is.
Yeah, we got to get out of our own way. Chuck wants us to get back on the cosmic discussion, but yeah, just get back on track, bro. We can do this. We got this.
One thing I was thinking about when we were talking about whether it was in water or sand, I often thought that, in the way the world works, the way you could have a Fern Gully under, we don't really know what's under the sand at the beach, and the light reflecting back, down towards us is actually capable of penetrating. Remember, Svetlana told us capable of penetrating, way into the ground, right? So technically, being in sand and water, okay, just like when is the glass half empty or is it half full? You put the stones in, then put the sand in, then put the water in, it's like actually it could be all of those things. Yeah, I see it like that.
Yeah, I got you, Gil. You're right.
And I really appreciated Dean. Yeah, I really appreciate, Dean, how well you can see the step beyond the laying of the eggs, and how that, when I was like, oh, they're floating around in water, you're like, no, they're like, they're like of earth, right? They can't just float around. They're gonna get
about the water being in the eggs. I started picturing the bottom half of the egg, and that the outside of the egg being the so-called ice wall or whatever's containing the water in our realm, that, and the oceans being in the bottom of the egg.
Yes.
Because the egg is cracked in half. My question is, there's got to be, well, not question, but there has to be more eggs like ours. Because it even said in one of these stories that there's many eggs hatched. So I picture like an infinite realm with many eggs.
Yep. Yeah, me too. And it also is sort of a safety protocol, right? Like in the sense that should that, speaking especially from, I'm going to go from the being side, the story that of coming from the earth and evolving of the earth I still think there was some level of organic advancement, let's just say, I think you would agree, Dean, that, to have the opportunity to maybe make better logs out of the trees and stuff like that, that would come with it, right? Like, so we'd have better and better homes,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm one of these people that I will not cut down a tree.
Yeah, electricity.
I don't like cutting down living trees. Right?
Yeah, but still, you could do. Hold on one sec. Let me just finish here, Dean. One of the things that is that would no, it's okay. It's not your fault. It's just one of the things that I've learned as an aside here. Only hosting a few panels, but doing it for so long, for so many hours. When we all start talking, it affects the broadcast, right? So it affects the ability for people in the future to listen. The ones who aren't here, we know our friends in the chat. Right now are here and listening and are used to understanding, but it's part of actually, production. Whether you're trying to sell a product or not, right?
I've got to grow up a bit more.
Well, no, we all do it, but I think that. Hold on one second, Dean. I think that when we all respond to each other, right? This is why some panels actually mute up. I can get on a rant and lose track of time because I'm not looking at the screen. And if we're all always muting up when someone's talking, then not that I'm saying we have to, then that interruption doesn't happen. And then we also won't start speaking with the in our voice, because that actually somehow happens to us, creates this stutter, all of us. It also ends up charging us more because we want to talk, we're excited, we're sharing, we're building together. And that excitement actually creates that energy that in some cases, where we all overlap into other communities, but it can just feed into the excitement of drama. Right. And we want to get excited about everything we're talking about. Right. We want to have fun and laugh.
You carry on where you left off, Gil. You got to be okay.
Well, yeah, but this is good. I hope Charles doesn't mind me taking the moment, because I know that I had no idea how one of the things. Do you mind, Charles?
No, I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Like,
so
if we mute up, it doesn't have that crackly sound. It starts to interfere. You're right about that.
And it forces people to engage with the screen. There's different people. Some people chat on screen and, on the panel and talk. Charles has talked about this before, and in the chat. I'm one of those panelists. I haven't been lately because I've been consuming so much. And for that case, but I always have the stream running, my YouTube running on mute. Okay. To give Charles the hours of viewed, right? And, whoever I'm watching, make sure it's on my volumes, turn right down on that. It's running, and I always have the chat up. Now, sometimes I'm doing some things. I might have to go do some research and, come back. But, it's just part of how I choose to participate. Not every panelist chats with chat, but I'm just saying it's just part of what makes this a room for all of us to be so comfortable in, and whether a content creator is choosing to monetize or not. I think the approach to paneling together is to try and support that person to have that as an option, because the only way you get that option is by gaining to even get into that as an option is to have view hours, right? And that once that stream is out there, right? So, if we talk about too touchy a subject and we're not aware of it, or if we send something and we don't know, then, or if we start talking drama from other channels or our feelings about other channels, then suddenly we might be inviting ourselves to which isn't necessarily a problem, right? If you want those views, right? If you understand what you're doing, but we haven't understood because we've been treating this like a really comfortable living room where we can just speak whatever we want, and for that, that's a beautiful thing, because I think we've really gelled as a community with real loyalty, not this blind loyalty that these other channels are actually trying to point out to the viewers indirectly. And I know some people aren't even aware of these drama panels that I'm talking about. And I mean that with respect, right? That's like there's drama humor, there's drama politics, there's drama self-help, right? There's drama, empower yourself, get away from the system. There's drama, abstract thinking, person that studies it all, right? And so that's okay. That's what I've learned in the last couple of weeks, right? And I just didn't even understand what I was doing, hopping up on people's panels in the middle of a bunch of, very interesting community crossover, and I think that in Charles' room, a lot of people aren't aware of how a lot of us come to these places, and even if we watched a lot of the videos, we wouldn't know the background that a lot of people have together, and what they can build as a community together in terms of understanding where every player fits in. Not that anyone's playing, it's just that we are here on YouTube doing something instead of TV, and interactive growth, whether people want to produce, cartoons or whether they want to talk, their own personal story, right? It's the whole gamut. So, I think I've said a lot, I think the main thing we could learn is to try and figure out how to stop and start conversations, give each other the time to speak, try to mute up when we need to cough, pay attention to the screen, even if we have to keep a pen and paper, like Charles, like McCoy, right? Understanding when did someone start talking, especially Becky. When did Becky start talking?
London man.
Well, the other thing is too that like I'm one of these people too. I do a little umming and ahhing, and sometimes I stop my conversation because I'm trying to put it together in my head, so I'm not going to look like a bloody dick and it's going to come out like gibberish. So sometimes I pause, and people jump in on that moment, and they start running their talk too, and then they stop.
But Dean, you just let me interrupt for a minute. Sorry, Dean.
Hang on, you're just doing it right now to me, right?
Dean, hold on, please. No, I'm making a point though. I was making a point, and I was calmly talking, and I paused, and you spoke, and you haven't muted since we all just agreed to mute. And I'm not angry with you. I'm just making a point.
Well, I'll leave then, because it's early morning for me.
No, Dean.
I can't look at the screen all the time. I just cannot look at the screen all the time. I've got things to do.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
I've got to go to work today if it's fine.
Okay, so anyway, finish, Dean. Don't get emotional, please. Just hear me out. We can understand. Hear me out, Dean.
I've only just got up. You guys have been at it all day. Okay,
Dean. Please take a breath. No, don't be upset. I'm not upset with you, and no one else is at all here. You're not in trouble, and I'm sorry. You just actually posed a perfect opportunity for us to address why people say I yield, right? Because let's say you couldn't see. Let's say you were blind and we wanted to have you here, right? We would have to make an amends to take care of Dean, right? So you're important, your points are
Very
important. So that being said, right, then let's just try it here for the next little while. You don't have to mute up, Dean. Do your thing, and we'll figure out how to say something like I end on that, or I'll end with a question. What do you think? But I think I've said enough about trying to make this, trying to understand what we're doing here and trying to just make it flow, right? But still flow the way we've always flowed, but flow with the topic and have good discussions together, and we'll get out of some of these bad habits that have been conditioned. Osanyemi's in the back, Charles, and I really appreciate you guys letting me try to sort of just share that, because I think it really helps.
We're all guilty.
What?
And don't you dare leave, Dean. I love you.
Yeah.
What happened? What do I do now?
No, you didn't do anything. Osanyemi's in the back.
Oh, sorry, Osan. I was in your...
Yeah. Can you hide me for a second, Charles? I'm going to be listening, you guys, but I have a quick call I have to make to my stepdaughter.
Okay. Sorry, Osanyemi, if you want to come up. Sorry about that. I was in the other room. I had stepped away. All right. Hold on. Well, why would I have to hide you?
Well, can't you just hide me so I go off? You don't have to. I can just go on mute. That's fine. I just thought it might look like I'm not talking for quite some time. I might be.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thanks for understanding, but I'm listening, you guys.
And Faceplant dropped out, and I don't know if he's coming back up.
He was sounding pretty bad. He was doing good for a long time. So if anyone wants to come up, I dropped the didn't drop. I just think in that story, the Cosmic Egg, when the dragon died, it said he went to sleep, right? And then probably every version. I never read the tortoise version. Dean said he likes the tortoise version. I have to check the tortoise and the phoenix version, but I've read the dragon and the actual Pangu himself. But no, I was in the other room most of the time. I couldn't. I didn't know anyone was coming up, but I didn't go off topic. Who dropped out? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bex, probably for while she's having her call.
They were saying
it said the serpent died.
Yeah, it says it went to sleep for forever after 18,000 years. Yeah. And
Okay, that sounds like the tale of Puff the Magic Dragon, kind of.
Huh. But then his eyes became the sun and the moon.
Yeah.
My question is, how the hell did they raise up? But, you know, we all know that these are stories. Even though the Google Maps, right, just like the Google planets, they show Pluto the dog on Pluto. And just like Google Maps to show pictures of dragons on the land. Like, how do we know that's official? And I'm not downing, what's his name there? Sutton University. Mud Fossil University. What's his name?
I don't know his name, but I just know him by Mud Fossil University.
No, it starts with a R. Roger.
Roger.
Yeah, I agree with Roger when he says fossils, mud fossils, or rocks and stuff. I agree with that. Something happened that caused that effect, but I'm going to look more because there is a lot of old photos where they're slaying dragons. Now, that could mean a lot of things, because London Man took, he thinks we live on the dragon, the dead dragon, and that's why he took the creation story of
Max Vision.
The dragon.
Max Vision also thinks we live on a dragon, yes.
Right. I think we could, just like the Native Americans say we live on a turtle, and they say when you go under the ocean in Florida, you could see its leg, right? One of its little legs, because Florida's like one of the legs, I think. I don't know, but I don't live in Florida. Kimba, we need you to go swimming. No.
Kimba, we need you to go deep diving.
But the Cosmic Egg, man, to me, we could change the subject. It's just really, I could share my screen, but it's going to start boring everything.
Please don't share your screen, dear God. It's going smoothly.
And that pisses me off. Because everything was going good until I got down to 10%, and now it wants to pour out. I hate that. It's like, come on, give me a break.
Yeah. It sucks how they limit us like that, but you know why they limit us. So that we can't do what we need to do to help each other. That's the frustrating part. But they're not going to win.
I wish we had a device that could reach up to the moon. I would love to fly a device up to the moon and really you ever see the video? Somebody went to Antarctica, I think it was, and they were supposed near the firmament wall, and they see the moon was huge. It was an arm's reach. Now, I don't know if that, excuse me, is real. Probably Dean seen that video too. There's a whole lot they're not telling us, and you know, we could possibly be living on dead titans, and the ground they say is all dead. It's like fertilizer, but when they say the underworld is the land of the dead, it's odd because death brings life in many ways. As above, so below. Death, you could die, and then there's a baby born. You put a seed into the ground of the dead, the underworld, what happens? It brings life. So it's a cycle that's never ending.
Yeah, the end is from the beginning. And I just saw it in a different way. When you called it the underworld is for the dead, and that's where we bury the so-called dead. But that's just the body that they inhabited that we're burying, and that's what nourishes the earth. Because we really aren't alive yet, but we will be. If I have anything to say about it, we will be. That's what comes next. So I can't wait. I'm so excited. I think it's soon.
But, you know, I even confuse myself with the cosmic egg sometimes. Like, I'm picturing the actual shell and the solid barrier, but then I think about the torus field that's around our realm.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the cosmic, they call it a war. They were saying, I was reading in the 1500s that people, whatever, was flying over the skies, dropping bombs or whatever, and the sky was falling, but the stars were falling. I don't think like actual meteors or rocks falling from the sky. They could either in these stories be bombs, or they could be I don't think they could be the stars, because
well, when you have like a meteor shower, let's say, and the meteors can either land into the water, which you were reading about, or Dean was talking about, and then, or both, and then they could also land on the land. And we've got so many alien looking creatures on this planet that came from somewhere else, but somehow some of them can survive here, and they grow and they flourish and they populate. And so you can look at a meteor as a cosmic egg from space.
All these like in Africa, they show the craters that are in the desert. I think those are bombs that were dropped, because I was reading that Africa, before that desert, there was lush water where the desert is now, and they have craters. Either those had water, or those were bombs that were dropped and annihilated all the jungle that was there.
Yeah.
And the people.
Yeah. Because there is no reason for there to be any desert on this damn planet. But unless bombs or massive craters, but supposedly with holes that big, if they keep claiming if a massive crater hit Earth, we would all die, but we didn't. We're still here. So it couldn't have been really a massive crater. And plus, where is it? You know, my husband would say, oh, it broke up into little bits. I call bullshit.
No way.
I'm thinking more like those stupid A-bombs. They've been practicing that type of technology for way longer than we think. And I think everywhere that they've done it is everywhere that there's a crater and desert.
Yeah, because they got melted buildings all over these deserts, and they could have used the Bahara or the Caduceus or all these weapons. They call them. All these staffs they hold in their hand and stuff, and people say, oh, they're walking sticks. No, they're not. Those things are weapons. And these people could have been a whole hell of a lot taller too, had bigger crafts to fly in. Like some Christians believe angels have wings and they fly like birds. I used to think that when I was younger, listening to them people. But the more I would think is they're flying in crafts, not with wings.
But not all of them, because I have another thought as Bex was talking, and she was decoding Dominic for me. She's definitely going to come in handy for decoding Dominic for me. But the fact that I am likely a spiritual being having a human experience, I could be an angel.
We all are. I think we're all fallen angels. Our souls come from the celestial waters above. Look, I agree with Faceplant. Creators are open pit minds. That's what I wanted to say earlier too.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, it's been mined to hell. They stripped this place of all these crystals. Like I had a picture of these crystals in the earth that were the size of skyscrapers. It made the people that crawled in through these cracks. You ever see the videos and they're crawling through crevices just to find like crystals underground? People go in caverns and shit.
Yeah.
They're literally crawling through spaces. It's like crawling under your bed, probably a little smaller. And I'm like, man, if that rock collapsed, you'd be a sandwich. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But when they come to the openings, these huge crystals, and when I put that black amethyst in my hand, I felt the fucking energy. I've never felt nothing like that with crystals. It's mind blowing. I think these crystals, could heal you.
Yeah, some can heal you, but some can damage you. So you can't just keep any old crystal around your actual person. So always look that up online before you go buying just anything because it looks pretty.
Yeah, I agree. Here's my baby.
Have a great day, people. I'll catch you later.
You leaving? Why you sound all depressed?
I thought he was.
That's what I mean. You try to run your show, and he might have taken it wrong because I said stay on topic. Like,
yeah. Well, it's going to take some getting used to.
You know, you can't keep everyone happy. If I don't say nothing, then I can't run my show. But as soon as I say something, I'm an asshole. Sometimes it's like I don't even want to fucking run this shit no more.
We all have bad days, and he probably we know he's already been sad about what's happening to Earth, and so. And we're all sensitive. We have our days, and I think he's just having one of those super sensitive days like he was having when I had that really good discussion with him. And then I don't know why you didn't keep that video up. You took it down, I think.
Which one?
But I don't know.
I got a bunch saved.
You were gone for most of it. It's pretty recent. It was the day you disappeared on us, and we didn't know what in the hell happened to you. And I had a, oh, that's gorgeous. Oh my God. What is that? Is it blue?
It's a black amethyst.
Oh, it's so black, it's blue. Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
It's a powerful one.
Yeah, it is. Oh my God.
Uh-oh. I hate when it does this, man. I gotta press to let
Hey, finally. Hey. Wow, what'd that cost you, a pretty penny?
Oh no, a subscriber sent it as a gift.
Oh, wow. Bless their hearts, or be more their hearts, actually. Hello, person I'm not sure I know. I don't even think I can say your name. I might have to call you Oak.
It says Olsen Yummy.
Hi. Basically, what I'm thinking, Dean was trying to make a point, right? Right. This is why I was chatting in the chat. The topic is very interesting, right? Because not a lot of people talk about the, Earth, and it's like a crystal, and it's like, different aspects of the Earth. So every time he tried to make a point, he'll get crossed over, and it was frustrating him. And plus, like, it sort of swapped to YouTube, which have nothing to do with it, because you're literally talking about something to do with Earth and the shape, and and like, and everybody's putting in their 5 pence in as well. So I feel personally, Charles, like, I know you don't like telling people what to do, but sometimes when it's a conversation, a big subject like this, right, and people is engaging with what you're saying, and somebody comes and a person's trying to put his little piece in what he wants to say, and then he's getting crossed over or being told to hush and let me finish and all this stupidness, when he has a right to have a opinion on what you're talking about, So I mean, like, you can tell me I'm wrong for coming up here and say this, but I just thought I'd just say that. That's why I was saying that in the chat, and I'm not being a troll or nothing. I'm just saying, basically, sometimes, right, I just want to put on my phone and listen to what you're saying and be cooking, and when it turns into a back and forth, it changes the whole energy of the chat, because you're talking about something very unusual, something that people normally don't talk about. So I'm sorry if Bex is upset with me. Well, that's it, innit? But at the same time, right, you really have to give people a chance to say their opinion, or what you do, you let the other person have their opinion, and then you kind of cut in when needs to be, because then it makes it more structured. That way people don't get the wrong idea, don't think you're beefing, and don't get it wrong, because I think he had something to say. And and the good thing is that Charles kept to the subject. He didn't let it sway to YouTube drama, because YouTube drama gets involved in important discussions. And yeah, that's all I want to say, really. I just thought I'll just say that, and like, if she's mad with me, that's fair enough. And talk about cross community. Listen, this is YouTube, right? Right? You could just jump in at any community. There's no cross community, no whatever. It's an app.
Yes, there is. I'm using that term all the time.
It's an app.
It totally is.
It's an app. So you can land anywhere. You can land in any community, anywhere, any place. You can be talking to a whole heap of people, talking about something totally different, and then you just run into something, and then all minds come together. And this is what really pees me off with certain panels. This is why sometimes I don't tap in, because it's either one person over talking more than another, or whatever. And rightly, and this is really Charles's channel. So if anything, he has the bigger say in what happens in his channel. If you want to mute your ass, he'll mute you. If you want to say, okay, I'm kicking you off, he kick you off. That's how it goes. That's how channel holders do. And it's not about channel holders, not about this, like, whatever. But anyway, I'm slightly going off the point, but that's the point I want to make. So I just thought I'd just say that. Okay. All right.
He said quietly, Chuck said quietly in back chat that we were getting off topic. So then I spoke up and said something, and then we got back on topic, and he just said it quietly in chat, but not everybody checks chat.
I didn't want to offend Dean or anyone.
Yeah, he's trying to be gentle. Yes, because he's such a gentle soul.
I agree with what you say, Angles and Yummy. I definitely do.
Yeah.
So, I just thought I'd just say that, because, like, one person don't dominate a whole panel. Like, you see how I'm talking now? You see what I did? I muted, I listened, and then I unmuted. That's called, showing thingy for the other person. That's all I'm saying on that one, because otherwise you just turn into a shit show at the end of the day. And I don't want to be on no shit show. I mean, I do drama on my own channel. I don't need to be getting it from the other side of another sector. It's just annoying. Otherwise, I might as well stay on the other side where I'm at, because at this rate, it's just pure drama everywhere, and it doesn't need to be had. And people people, we're all intelligent people. We're all intelligent. We're all grown ass people in our 50s, 40s, and however. We're not in a schoolyard. Like, get together, man. It's just ridiculous.
I wish we had a way to raise hand in here. So please hear me, StreamYard. I wish we had a raise hand option in the back here. That would make it easier. But since we don't, I am going to go back to what I'm telling other channels. That's why I usually only try to have one guest on at a time and then just have the back and forth. And that makes it so much easier for both to get everything out that they want to say. And having more than two in there, it starts to get crazy like that. And we don't want to hurt each other's feelings, and we do want to let everybody talk, but it's so hard when there starts to be more than two people in there. So I don't know, we might want to start just having one person come up at once, and then when that person's done, take them down, bring another one up maybe. I don't know, I'm just looking for solutions here.
I think it just comes down to situational awareness and people being able to do give and take. Yeah, so I don't know. I missed quite a bit before I came in here, so that's why I'm kind of just sitting back. I'm right. So what's the topic, Charles?
I was talking about the cosmic egg, and that guy King, or any creation story. There's so many different cosmic egg. I was looking into all the different versions, Egyptian, Hindu, you know.
Well, anyway, that's all I want to say. I'm sorry for interrupting your stream, Charles. But anyway, please do not take the stream down. Don't take the stream down, please, because I want to listen to the beginning. Okay, please don't take it down.
Please don't take it down. I love your picture, your avatar picture. I want to say your name. I can't say your name. Osinyemi. I love your picture.
Thank you, because normally I don't engage in the panels. Really, I don't engage some at all, because I see all the dramas what goes on, so I don't engage, because I'd rather be in the chat, because I can say I can engage better, because then I can just tap out whenever and then come back in and then just watch the replay and forward the bad bits and then go to the good parts. Basically, that's how I deal with it, like that. Basically, you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, basically, I don't want to go on and on, but anyway, I will thank you for listening to me.
You're you are originally from Africa, Osinyemi, or you were born in Europe?
No, I am West Indian. And I'm born in the UK.
Okay.
But I'm West Indian by birth, but the name is because of the practice that I'm involved in. That's all that's right there, really, basically.
What do you think about the cosmic egg story?
Well, to be honest, I was busy. I got a little one, right? I haven't been listening to it. I just came in when you was talking about the shape, when I was talking about the reflection, that how it reflects the water, because I feel that the water and the sky is kind of similar, because when you look up in the sky, it does this thing where it's like blue water. As for the earth, I haven't really checked the earth part yet, but I know when I look up in the sky, 'cause I look up in the sky a lot, there is a bit of a reflection of water. The clouds represents the bottom of the ocean to me in a kind of way. When it's blue and it's got certain organisms or whatever, it represents that. And then it's only when certain times when the sky changes or the moon is more clearer, if you look carefully, right, you can more or less see forms of animals, people, etc. It's kind of like that to me. That's how I look at it from that point of view. But on the cosmic egg, I've never heard it called that before, so it's all new to me. So that's why I said to you, if you leave it up, I will just replay it and then I can leave my comment there to make it better.
Yeah, I agree with the the waters above. I've seen videos of people with really, really good cameras, and you could see the waves go across the moon. Because the moon looks like a hologram to me. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely see-through, and you can see the waves go across the moon if you have a good camera. And another thing about the waters above, it reminds me of the stars. I just want to finish with the stars remind me of the fish that are in the deep, deep ocean that light up from the electromagnetic energy. The fish, I forgot what they're called, luminescence, the way they light up.
Luminescence, yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of the stars.
But yeah, well, anyway, I'll jump down. I'll go back down in the chat anyway, and I'll listen to what you're saying. And then, basically, anything I got to say, I'll put in the comment section. Please leave your videos up, Charles, because you're always deleting them. I don't know why, but yeah, can you just leave the videos up when it's an interesting subject? Please keep it up, please.
I delete some of them because if anything med is brought up, that has to go. I have bad luck with that stuff. But and sometimes I started erasing stuff because of the copyright issues, but now I don't even care. As long as nothing med's brought up, I leave them up. And I have a lot. People think I erase them, but they're on private, a lot of them. I have probably 7. My last, I don't know. I have a lot on private. I'm going to release them, though.
Just edit the parts out that you don't need. Just do that. Just do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
what she said. I know it's a pain in the butt, but it's worth it to keep the good parts of the video up. It is doable. Please.
And you've done no, but you've done really good bills. Some bills. Sometimes I've come into the room and you've had some real good subject matter, honestly. So you need to like keep them up for people who is interested in it. Because for me, I'm a replayer. I replay stuff and I comment. I'm one of those people. So I won't necessarily jump up on a panel and do all the extras, but I would definitely engage in the comment section. You know what I'm saying? So just have patience to edit the thing and repost them if you have to do it. Just take out all the bad parts, whatever's in it, take it out and then rewind and come again, basically. Put it up, you know, because there is some good subjects there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to leave it up. I was talking about that earlier, Dominic, about that version of Gaia and the Greeks version. Hopefully that wasn't in the first part I had to erase because my sound was messed up. But yeah, Ophion, the snake. Yeah, there's so many versions of the cosmic egg, but I see the cosmic egg as our realm, huh?
What was the name of that snake?
Ophion.
Ophion. I'm gonna go look that up. OPH.
ION.
Okay, ION.
Yeah.
I want to see what that means.
It's the snake that wraps around the egg, or it reminds me of the sperm, or it could be the serpent energy. That's what it's symbolizing, the serpent energy. But the more I read about the cosmic egg, like I said earlier, it
just means
the womb. It reminds me of the womb and the sperm, and as above, so below, from micro to macro. But what do you think, Christos? The cosmic egg?
Let me do this real quick. Ophion, it just means snake, or serpent, but I'm going to add Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus, depends on how you want to say it, because he's the serpent bearer, and I'll land there.
Anyways, I'm going to jump down anyway, back into the chat, okay? So thank you for listening to me, okay? Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah, there's a game called Dark Souls, and then the DLC part of the lore and backstory in the game is it's the end of time basically, and dimensions are colliding, and so what's happening is taking place at the end of the earth. And what's going on? It looks like a collision of different kingdoms in this desert, basically. And the king in this universe sent one of his daughters to go hold on to and protect this cosmic egg, basically, which was going to stop the universe from collapsing in on itself here at the edge of the universe. And in the story, actually, everything's decaying away. It's like the apocalypse has basically already happened, but you're still going into this to the edge of the universe, and you actually have to go and touch the egg. And when you touch the egg, it crumbles and it collapses that final firewall between the universe, and it collapsing in on itself. And so if this is just kind of like, this is a Japanese guy's interpretation, I guess, of some different types of Western mythology when he makes these video games, these fantasy games. So that's just an example where we can see an egg used in a way in different media like video games, used symbolically in like more than just a creation story. Rather, it's like a symbol of power. And how an egg can actually contain, something, which is obvious. It's like obvious. That's implied that it's an egg, so it will contain something. But it can act as like a fortifier of reality.
I have to add is that why Elon Musk and probably others like him over the decades and so on keep trying to send rockets up there to bust through the dome to touch the egg to make it crumble? That's what I saw when you were talking, Christos. What do you think? Chuck, anyone?
Yeah, it makes me think of like a defense dome. Like they have that thing called the Iron Dome in Israel. Or like in Star Wars, they have shields. They have like energy shields, which are these domes that will surround their bases and whatnot. So I guess looking at the egg as a like shield or what would you not container, shield, more than just, I guess, a seed of creation.
Yeah,
the egg is a seed, and a seed is an egg. They have, it's like the yin yang thing going on. Like they kind of like they have that similar look and pattern to them, that kind of fractal nature reflected. Just like the upward triangle, downward triangle, the like bowl, skull, the ovaries, and then vice versa. The male phallic and the esoteric symbolism going on there. Kind of same thing with like seed and egg. They have that kind of oval, circular action going on with their symbolism, reflecting in each other.
And Christ is the serpent too. Christians, a lot of Christians that I know don't. They tell me, no, it's not. I couldn't believe it when I heard it myself, and then when it was explained by Bro Sanchez, he said that's why Jesus' feet is crossed. It's like the snake wrapping around the cross.
Yes.
So the serpent is everywhere. Yeah, the serpent has been deemed evil.
Lifted up on the pole, you shall be healed, you shall be saved. Yes.
I need like 2 minutes to about to make a sandwich real quick. I need to put something in my stomach. It's fun. But you guys can talk about If anyone wants to come up.
You screen share a video.
No, it'll just all garble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're copyrighting me for all those videos too, man. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm getting hit with copyrights. I was looking at real quick. I just want to say, I was looking at some of these copyrights. I'm gonna show people, and it don't even make sense. I went through one of the videos I dropped, the one I did, the short 2-hour video. It gave me a copyright for. I didn't play no music, no videos, and yeah, I got a copyright strike on it. Huh? It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what they hit me for, which was why I couldn't go live almost 2 weeks ago. They tried to say I copyrighted something, and I was like, whatever, I did not. I think they're cracking down just so they can nitpick and shut us down. You know, if you're using somebody else's picture even, because, or somebody else's GIF or whatever, they're just nitpicking to shut us down. Because we're so close. But what'd you say that game was called, Christos? Where when you touch the egg, you have to go. The goal is to touch the egg so that it will shatter. I'd like to hear about that again because I'm still trying to connect some dots in my head. If you're still there, you have to be. He's gonna go make a sandwich.
Yeah, I'm eating too. But I heard you. So it wasn't. It's just like the story and background of these games is really abstract. But so that's kind of besides the point. It's not the objective of the game. It's just at this point in the game, it's like there's no other option. It's just when you go up to the egg, it gives you the button that says, touch egg. So it's not like the main objective. It's just part of like the storyline. It's the end of the world already, and you actually need to tear down this veil and let the world collapse. And so you're going to end up because it's like the world goes in cycles. There's the Age of Fire, Age of Darkness, very archetypal, and you basically actually want to like allow the world to end so you can actually reset it. That's why you end up touching the egg, because you have to summon this slave knight, which is protecting the girl. And again, see, I'm getting all the details of the lore of the video game, which actually don't matter to what you're asking, basically.
Actually, it kind of does.
It's just acting as like a firewall that you have to take down because you need to end up resetting the cycles. And there's a girl that painted the world. And I'm getting it all mixed up now. There's some girl that painted a world. There's like a painted world you can go into, and there's a slave knight that's sworn to protect her. And once you can touch the egg and have it fall apart, then you can start the end of the world. So the slave knight, who is looking for the dark soul, which you have as the character. Dark soul is the most powerful thing, and only humanity has it. So like even if you don't have any intention on playing, even if you have no intention on playing the game, looking into the lore, it has very interesting story and lore, very abstract, and honestly, it's very artistic. It's a very popular game because it's like beautiful scenery, very technical fighting stuff, and then there's just like crazy dragons and bosses and skeletons and wizards. It's very like Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, but to a whole different level. It's this Japanese company. Miyazaki is his name. He's a big fan of a lot of Western mythology stuff.
One more time.
Anyway, look into Dark Souls.
Dark Souls is the name of the game, Mike.
The name is Dark Souls. Yep. There's 3 of them, and then now there's Elden Ring. There's Demon Souls. There's Bloodborne.
That was
Dark
amazing.
Souls.
Thank you.
There's a lot of like deep, hidden meanings in those games, actually, for sure.
Hey, about the copywriting. Can you hear me?
Very well, actually. Yay.
No, we can't hear you.
I think when you upload something, it becomes the property of YouTube. So that's why they do that.
Oh, hell no.
Is this another paranoid Michigander bit?
So they can just do
No,
whatever
it's
they
the
want
fine-
then.
The fine
I'm just
print,
messing with you.
whatever you upload to Facebook or Instagram or probably YouTube, it becomes their property.
Wow, ain't that a clusterfuck?
You probably agreed to that when you pressed the button. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably in the fine print and all that. Yeah, that's how they get you. Just so that you can use the app, you know. Then, but
So they can give whoever they want a pass. If somebody's just spewing out bullshit that they want somebody to swallow, they'll just let them continue. Like any kind of vulgar crap goes. But as soon as you put up some truth, they're going to claim it as theirs, and you're violating when you use it again.
wow. So, yeah, we should really be very careful about, you know, sharing pictures, even though we like to do that. And sharing screen at all, I guess we're just going to have to dumb it up. And like I had Chuck do so he could have a better video, was when you're reading, just don't share screen, because, you know, he's going to have better audio that way for some crazy reason. But at the same time, they can't get him for copyright either. So.
Gotta walk on cosmic eggshells.
Yeah. I'm just making my sandwich. I'll be right back in a second.
Okay.
That was a very witty cosmic eggshells. Dean suggested that if we looked at an eggshell through a microscope, that they might likely be hexagonal in structure of the cells. I thought that was interesting.
An eggshell is porous.
Mm-hmm.
You can see pores in an eggshell if you look.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever seen an ostrich egg. But
not in person.
Yeah, I had a buddy who had ostriches.
Yeah, cool. The egg actually has tiny little holes.
That's hella random.
Yeah.
And then there's that fine skin that's just on the inside of the shell that protects the egg, also stops the liquid from inside the egg from leaking out.
The membrane.
Yeah. That's what it's called, the membrane.
You know, interestingly, Easter eggs, okay? You know how we know that that fertility ritual is sort of usurped into the, you know, some of the at least that's how I shouldn't say we all know, but there, you know, it seems to be a little bit of an overlap between paganism and religiosity when it comes to how Easter is celebrated, right? And that being said, when we decorate Easter eggs, we put a hole in them and we take out the inside of the egg and we paint the outside of the egg to look different than the egg. We make it all pretty. I have a feeling that there's a little bit of a decode there on a micro level in terms of the genetic manipulation we know going on in the world, you know, in the plant and animal world. But on a macro level, then the idea of a pinhole in that cosmic egg, say before it's ready to hatch, could actually also represent this idea of feeling trapped in a matrix or having something come into a world it's not supposed to be in, like it kind of happened too slowly, or it's supposed to happen all at once, but maybe it's oozing, the egg has been oozing out or something, you know? I just think there's something to that painting egg ritual that relates to all of this.
Bex, have you been to Vegreville?
Bakerville? No.
Vegreville, Alberta.
No.
Oh, they have a giant Easter egg there.
Interesting. I think some of those kind of there'd be people, you know, in these communities that do different kind of decodes where I wouldn't be surprised if a giant Easter egg somewhere in Alberta, we could probably find homages to random eggs around the planet, and someone would be able to.
Ukrainian thing.
Yeah, but I bet you.
Ukrainian.
But if we were to look at how it relates to sort of like if we look at how it relates to the universe, the us being in a cosmic egg, potentially in a bigger realm, with other eggs, then I see it sort of as.
When you're done.
I'm sure there's something to that. That the painting of the Easter eggs is something besides Christianity, and it's probably about what we're talking about.
Think of the cosmic egg story. Look at the bunny. It's got two ears like horns, just like Pangu had two horns on his head. In the cosmic egg story, that's the bunny with the egg.
Plus, the back of your brain can also, if you're looking at it properly, can also resemble a bunny, like as within, so without.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everything's here that we need to know to do what we need to do, but we need to be able to read the sky. The sky is telling us. We look everywhere, but what we need to do is look up star lore. That is going to be key. We were talking earlier about how, like Dean and them were talking about how it's, they keep changing the story, but star lore, that's going to help us put the puzzle pieces together a lot faster, in my opinion. Because if we can read the star lore, the story, it's going to be made more clear.
You ever find that when you're looking up at the night sky, you're always trying to look at a certain place? I think that's your place in the sky. Probably everyone has their own star in the sky.
You do have your own star. My star means feet of God.
The stars are sound in water, and it comes from the earth. The sound comes from the earth and goes up into the water above and makes a star.
That's what my mom told me when I was like, I don't remember, 7, 8. She pointed to the sky and said, "We're all stars. We all have one."
But I find when I'm looking at the night sky, there's one place in the northwest. I'm always looking over there for some reason.
It'd be interesting if you looked up what your birth star is. Look up birth star calculator. And won't it be interesting to find out that your star that you were born under is in that area of the sky? Won't that be interesting to find out? And then you get to find out what the name of the star means. And I don't remember what the name is. It's been a while. But I do remember that I looked it up a few months ago, and I was reminded that my star name means feet of God.
There's different color stars too.
Yeah, my very good friend gets into astrology big time, and was actually looking into some astrology based off geography, and was showing me this whole like map that was very, very complex. I need to go find it again or ask her for it, but some funny stuff that you can find out about yourself or your relationship with others for real. Like it really does yield a lot of answers. It's not reaching. A lot of these things are on point if you can get the exacts correct with your natal chart, and map things out correctly with the houses and whatnot, and do some cross-referencing. And honestly, whenever I hear people talk about astrology, I always get inspired because there's so much to be discovered and yielded within it.
Yes. Let the force be with you comes to mind for some reason. You know?
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I just want to ask Soama, what do you mean by when I hit 1,000 subs? What happens if you have copyright stuff? They're not strikes. They're just like they put it as copyrighted, meaning if I make money off it, they're going to get a chunk. But also, Soama said, a lot of these pictures that are for the public, people get them, and all of a sudden they copyright them like they own them. Like, how's that possible? How are you going to take... I can see if you alter it and use it and make it yours, but how are they copywriting a picture they didn't take? You know, I can see...
Yeah, I don't see how...
Me neither, but they're doing it all over. Google is doing it now.
Copyright picture. So.
But like I said, they're just nitpicking because I don't have 1,000 subs and they're constantly on me like a rabid fucking dog. And they've been on me on any social media that I've ever been on before this regime came in and started really nipping at our heels. They've never wanted me to speak on social media. I am always on, what do they call it on Facebook? Restrict mode, where for so long my stuff won't even show up in the feed for people at all. So they're always shadow banning me from the beginning, and I never had a chance in Twitter at all back in the day when it first came out. No one ever saw me, no one ever followed me, no one ever liked or shared my stuff. And that was back when I was reading biblical stuff the way I understood it, which was way closer to the truth than any pastor on TV will tell you.
I suspect you're a more targeted individual than most people.
Yes.
For a long time.
And I think it's because of what Bex made clear earlier, where Dominic talks about two types of beings here. Physical beings having a spiritual experience, and then I am very likely a spiritual being having a physical experience. I am part of what, I said her name earlier. I'm part of the rescue crew, and I got stuck here too. Who did I, Bex, you're there.
Well, we're all both.
Diane Cannon?
Dolores Cannon.
Dolores Cannon, thank you. Dolores Cannon. And I think I'm part of Rescue Crew 3.
I'm only familiar with the name, not familiar with her work, so I don't have much to put in on that.
Well, you might want to take a peek. She keeps coming up.
I appreciate the suggestion. I will go look at it.
Yeah, it's interesting, very interesting. And then you might find out more about your own self too. You know, that's why I say that. That's why I say anything.
Thank you, Paula.
You're welcome, sister.
I know Frank Cannon was God. Sorry, I just had to say that.
What was that? What?
I said, I know Frank Cannon was God.
Frank Cannon was God?
Remember that show, Cannon?
Cannon? No.
That fat guy, he was a private investigator, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah. Why are you calling him God?
He was like God in that show.
Oh, okay.
What's that one where the guy is he was a famous actor, Charles something, I think his name was, and he played an angel. He played in Little House on the Prairie too, but that guy played an angel.
Michael Landon.
Michael Landon.
And he played Charles. on Little House on the Prairie.
What was that?
Charles Landon.
He was in Ponderosa too.
What was that called?
Little Joe in Bonanza in Ponderosa.
Yeah. Not Earth Angel. Damn it. What was it called?
God was called Rod. Remember, I just read that. Paula, you were here. They named the guy Rod. That was in the Cosmic Egg story. That's one letter off of God. His name's Rod. God, Rod. He
the rod of God. Yeah.
The staff of Asclepius.
Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Yes.
Those damn weapons they got, they shoot.
That's the way that I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Yeah. I'm going to go try to find out what the name of that damn show was. I can't remember now.
What'll happen if Jesus fell from the sky and I clotheslined him? You think people would be mad at me? It's Jesus. Clothesline. Pow! Oops.
Yeah, or like they used to hold my trowel with the point up and say, jump, I'll catch you.
Ha 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 ha. It reminds me of that Japanese, when they get defeated, the Japanese warriors, they stab themselves in the gut, they fall on the knife.
Highway to Heaven.
Yeah, Highway to Heaven. Yeah, Phil said it in the chat, Michael Landon. Whatever people type in the chat, it takes a while for me to get it here on StreamYard. I've noticed that. It's off a little bit.
It's a lag. Yeah, it's got a lag.
Clothesline, 15-yard penalty. I couldn't bow to no man who has all these magical powers, right? Supposedly in the story, and sits up in this golden heaven watching down on people suffer. That's a coward act, and I have no respect for that shit.
Yeah.
You don't believe in a creator, Chuck?
Of course. Yeah. I don't know what the creator is, but I believe there's a source to all this, yes. But I believe, or I know, I don't want to say believe, I know we're God. Period. We control everything. It's all up to us. It starts with self first.
And two atoms slamming together creates everything as well. And then also the Big Bang came from the center of the galaxy, which is the Milky Way galaxy, which is the exact spot the WOW signal came from, which is also the butterfly cluster. I'm just saying.
I personally don't. Other people could. I don't believe in outer space at all, period. I don't know what the stars are, but NASA fucked up when they said we got all these telescopes out there, but show you all fake footage. That's where they fucked up. I know what video games look like. When all their footage is CGI. They never show anything real for the most part. It's all CGI. And then when they said they sent the monkey to space, that was hilarious. There's a lot of things they do. I just outer space. I don't know what's up there. I've never went up there, but as far as going to other planets, I'm not buying that. Now other craters or other places that were like the Cosmic Egg here, that's very, very strong possibility. I don't know as far as the true story of creation, I personally say none of us know it for factual. I got to always question everything. We could have been created in a lab for all we know and put here as slaves. That's the worst, I think, of what could be be true. And a lot of these stories are just, it'll be like being adopted and shit. You know, you're told the story of a fake mother and father. Are told these are your parents, but they're not.
I just feel very strongly like I'm the closest to the truth of what's going on. Also, as above, so below, or as below, so above. Didn't we just mention earlier in this video about like maybe what we see up there is a reflection of something down here? And so then that would still coincide with what you just said. So like, though I'm looking at the butterfly cluster from up there, what we need to find out is where is it down here?
In the ocean, probably.
I'm thinking maybe
Yeah,
the
probably.
I'm thinking
you
like,
agree.
well,
So we got 3 that agree it may be in the ocean somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
Osun Yemi said that. And when she said that, I just thought of those fish, how they light up. And it reminds me of the stars. But the stars, when you zoom in on them, you could out-zoom a star, if anyone's ever done that. And so what I would do is you take your camera and you put it straight and you zoom as far as you can. I was thinking this, and then when you look up at the star, if you could out-zoom a star, I mean, that's just no farther than you could zoom straight ahead.
Yeah. I also see like the clusters, the star clusters. They use the word cluster, and I see that as like a cluster of grapes to be harvested. So then I connect the dots and I see the clusters as manna, sustenance from heaven, but still connecting the dots to, well, where is that down here? We may not get to know that until we leave our bodies. Just always keep in mind, head for the cluster. What do you got to lose? You know?
Hell
If you
no.
can't head
No,
for the
I'm just
cluster.
kidding. I'm not, I don't know. I feel like there's so many places to go. I'm not even sure about the whole don't go to the light thing. It's like the whole idea that there's going to be right and wrong places to go. I don't know. I got to really think about this some more. I have been contemplating, there's all these different star systems. I do think, it's basically like different highways. It's like which highway are you going to get on, which direction you head in the afterlife. So I know that you're onto something for sure with the butterfly effect, or I mean not effect, but cluster. It's just a matter of I don't know if I need to be worried about going towards the butterfly cluster. Maybe I need to go to Orion or the Pleiades. I'm not sure where I'm going to make my bus stop first at, but I want to see to it that I go a lot of different places. We're going to take the time to take the scenic route, do a lot of touring. It's going to be a good time.
If you go to Orion, it's going to send you to the, I can't remember the name of it. It's going to send you to the one that they call the judge. And that'll be the judgment throne. So I'm not sure you want to go to the judgment throne. Oh, it might be the goose you've been reading about, or the bird you've been reading about.
Who said that? Like, what story is that in?
Oh, it's God, I found that years ago. I'd have to go try to re-find it again. But yeah, when you go through the gas nebula, the nebula of Orion, it sends you over. It's to the left of Orion and up a little bit. There's a bird there. I think it's also a cross, like the cross of Christ. But its name means judgment. I'll try to go find it. I'll be back.
Yeah, we're definitely not flying through space. I know that. Just All you gotta, you know, we've been seeing the same stars forever. You know, 42 years, I've seen the same stars in the sky over and over and over and over. If we were flying through space, that wouldn't be possible. So, I want to get on a boat and travel. You know, I so much really don't care what I do about the lands here. I want to try to find land away from here just to see what's out there. Like, there has to be an infinite realm. And there has to be more places like ours. But every time I read other people's stuff, I start to question, you know, how do we prove any of this stuff thousands of years old? How do people pick rocks up and say, well, this rock's 1,000,000 years old, right? Like, come on. I think, like Dominic had mentioned, the same people that wrote the Bible are the same, gave us a lot of the other books too. All these different versions of the creation story.
I think there is another realm, Chuck. I just remember having a dream where everything was bigger and brighter, and like it was like a Earth, but everything was bigger and brighter. And it was in a dream, and it just seemed so real, like it couldn't be fake. And maybe one of our other selves or our higher self lives over there. One of our other avatars.
Prophet Levi, Absolute Warrior, just brought up something that might be worth contemplating. Like, that, what if the egg's already opened? You know, it says, let's go, no more egg, body of bread and goo, Pangu of the chaos. Now, I'm not trying to get off topipic of a source of creation.
The egg is open. That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that. Thanks for bringing it up.
The egg is open. It says in the story it cracked open. That's how you get the crater below. And if it wasn't open, the top wouldn't be spinning while we're still at the bottom.
Of course.
I believe the Milky Way is the crack, and the other constellation that is also called the Judge is Cygnus the Swan. And what I found years ago was when you go to the nebula in Orion, it takes you to Cygnus the Swan, which is also the cross of Christ, which is also the Judge. You have to dig deep and maybe hunt that yourselves, because it's going to take some more digging for me to find the full story. But I at least found the name of the constellation. But I believe the Milky Way is the crack in the ceiling.
I gotta find
the Milky Way is the rift, the
rift, the river, yeah, the tear, the veil when it was torn, yeah, all of the above.
I think the movie's name is
Yeti. You know, when I see lightning, I have some video, and the light will tear in a piece of paper.
You're breaking up, Faceplant. Bad. Smallfoot. That's the movie everyone needs to watch, is Smallfoot. And how these people were kept on a mountain and they were told lies about there's nothing else out there, and they live on the top of this mountain. And one day the guy, one of the Yetis, fell off the mountain and came across us. They call Smallfoot. But yeah, they grew up on this mountain and were told there's nothing else out there. Everything's been discovered. And in the cave, they keep all this stuff. And their whole life, all those people were raised and taught lies. And the excuse was to keep them safe and to keep. So that reminds me of our realm. We're told there's nothing else out there, and we're kept in a certain area. You know, we're told, you know, and it's crazy, man. It's cartoon. It's called Smallfoot. Y'all should watch it.
Or is it Littlefoot? It's Smallfoot?
Yeah, Smallfoot. I just looked it up.
And also there's a new TV series somewhere out there called Silo. It's the same theory. And it's the theory is Plato's cave. They see shadows and they're afraid of the shadows, so they're afraid to leave the cave.
Wow.
And so they never leave. But I say, let's get the fuck out of here.
Everything could be a lie too. I also think that everything we're taught could be just keeping us busy and occupied while these people get their agendas completed, which they probably are mostly done. A lot of stuff we read
called
be fed to us to keep us distracted.
Sorry, Chuck. Sorry, Chuck. I said it's like called being down on the farm.
Yeah, we are free-range chickens.
Yeah, we don't have to know anything except what there is in this farmyard around us.
Yep. Because a lot of the stuff we talk about is all the past. Imagine if we focused on the future just as hard and what we can do to build ourselves up. I think about that too, but out of all I've read and stuff, I still have in the back of my mind, is all this true? You know, where are we really from? You know, how did all this become? My inner self still questions. I don't feel satisfied with everything I've read and learned or been told. Got all quiet. Everyone's thinking.
Just one bird here today. Just a little sparrow with a missing foot. It's the only bird I've seen here today.
Maybe I could play a movie. Maybe I'll play Smallfoot. And then I want to play that movie 9. Peace to Prophet Levi. And peace to Jay Phillips, a.k.a. Lucid.
When are you going to read The Cask of Amontillado?
What's that?
That short story by Edgar Allan Poe, The Cask of Amontillado.
Oh, I wrote that down too. Yes, I have to read that. I have this page with like 1 million notes that I've been writing stuff down. I got to go over it.
Maybe I should download it and come up and read it one day. It wouldn't take long. It's only a short story. Only a few pages.
Like in the Bible, I can't help but always think, like it says, in the last days, everyone will flock to Satan, right? Who are people flocking to the most now? Jesus. Who's always people been flocking to for the biggest percentage? Jesus, right? I mean, I used to think there's nothing else besides Mr. Superman there that's gonna come and solve all our problems.
That was funny. Jesus said, get behind me, Satan.
Trying to talk? Okay. Yeah, it was his ego. Satan is Christ's ego, or Lucifer is Christ's ego. But once you overcome the ego, you become Christed. You become the Christ. Once you let go of letting the ego rule and reign over you.
Damn, I just said that in one of my poems I've been writing. I'm stuck now.
Well, you're right. Well, you're right.
Osanyemi said the tongue is a sword, and I had started one of my rhymes that said, they say the tongue is a sword. My words cut into the ether, speak into existence, casting spells out the speaker. I practice remaining in balance, mastering my alchemy. My sight is crystal clear, but the blind have it out for me. I refuse to be a puppet with the master pulling my strings. I'm the smoke to the hive mind. When they swarm, I roll with the stings. No, let me chill, man. That's too deep. And then I said, I try to escape all the pain I created. Or no, I try to escape all the pain that's been created. Ego was inferno, heart filled with hatred. Painting pictures with words, the book of Charles is illustrated. I'm going to finish it. The sperm and the egg, yin and yang, is creation. I'm going to leave it there. More people copying my stuff. I'm joking.
Nice.
I'm not even nice. I could do better than that. The tongue is a sword.
A double-edged sword. And actually, the tongue is sharper than any double-edged sword because it can cut you, and it can either cut you for bad or cut you for good. It can either cut out the lies, or it can cut your heart open, let the truth, come in, which I also believe is the way out of here, through the heart, the butterfly cluster. I think that's the way there, through the heart, through love, through peace, through temperance, through the magician,
The double-ended sword, you can stab yourself with it.
Okay, yeah, you can. Yep, like the whole cut off your own nose to spite your face type situation. Yeah, you could misuse it altogether. Yeah.
Or the double-ended sword, what you're using as a weapon is also can backfire.
Exactly. Yes, it can dang well backfire on you. Yes. So use your words wisely. And that's exactly how it happens too. There's even scripture, part of the good stuff that is in there. When you're trying to heap coals on someone else's head, you're actually heaping them on your own head. So it's
karma.
like a boomerang. It's karma. It's cause and effect. Yeah.
Yeah, I almost quit after my phone broke and all my rhymes were lost. I had a whole EP ready to go. I was supposed to send Sir Drop one of my verses, but that verse I said, when it's a cold April morning under the constellation Aries, I'm not going to say it again, but that one, I had finally finished it because I got stuck at the ending part where I said, anyway, but I had gotten stuck and I knew I had to continue. I wanted it to be just as good as the part, before I got stuck. So it took weeks and weeks before I just had seen it on the page one day and I finished it finally. And I said it on here, but I can't find that one. Maybe I erased it by an accident, but my whole phone broke and all my rhymes were gone. So I'm like, fuck this shit. And I still don't learn because I'm still using my phone instead of writing them down on paper.
Hey, I just remembered. Did you know your name, Charles, comes from the name Charlotte?
No.
If someone was having a girl, they would have named you Charlotte instead of Charles. And what I'm still trying to figure out to this day, ever since the movie came out, is I'm trying to find out why the secret lies with Charlotte that they said in the movie National Treasure.
I'm looking at the chat. I'm just seeing what's going on. I don't know. My name was mentioned, but don't involve me.
I think it got sorted out. That's exactly what happened. Let's ask Joseph. Yep.
And that's a good one about the man's testes are eggs. Huh? That's crazy. What was I going to say? Oh, so I've started writing. I got to do this EP, man. I want Sir Drop on the song. The name of the EP is Fuck the One World Order. And the cover of my album is going to be somebody, it's going to be me shitting on the Bible. No, I'm joking.
You see the Illuminati playing card that Trump's sitting on the world like it's a toilet?
On the globe.
Yeah, the globe.
I joke around a lot and diss the Bible and stuff, but I have learned some good stuff out of the book. I treat it as is. It's a book. It's not nothing to bow to, or like even when I tell my friends to stop worshiping invisible people you never met, they get so mad at me, and I'm like, bro, you never met any of these people. Why don't you worship your mother and father just as much as you worship that book? They gave you life. If you can prove that, you know, I've always had an issue with that. How people shit on their own parents, but then they go to church and praise, thank some invisible people. But everyone's on their own path. I'm not downing anyone specifically. I'm downing the religion. I don't want anyone to take it personal what I say. Maybe we tickle the elites till they
There's a lot of ministers that don't even believe in God.
Yeah.
The ministers, I was in a church youth group when I was a kid, and the minister and his wife, they were in the leaders of it or whatever. And they stressed the Bible was written by men.
Yeah.
And then my mom telling me she goes to church for the community. Like it doesn't have anything to do with God.
You're fading away, faceplant.
Pardon?
You're fading away. I didn't hardly hear what you said there, bro.
Sorry.
Whatever that is. I heard that.
I just closed the door on the truck.
That was nice and loud.
Yeah, I was saying that the minister and his wife, she told me when I was in the church youth group, she told me the Bible was written by men. And my mom told me she goes to church for community.
It sucks he's not coming in. He was doing so good for weeks, man.
Yeah. Whenever he starts to actually get into what he's saying, that's when it fades away. Same exact spot in the sentence. I heard the beginning of what he said, but not the rest. It was written by man. It was supposedly God inspired. I would say rescue crews have been coming here for quite some time. And they probably did write some of that down, and then psychopaths wrote the rest of it down. That's why I say take the good stuff and leave the rest. Take the pearls and the diamonds and leave the rest. If it's male chauvinist, pig, judgmental crap, leave it. If it's good for the refinement of your soul, then use it. The Bible itself tells you that. I, God, create both good and evil. There are traps, there are snares set. Don't fall in them. You know, it
Look
tells
at these preachers, and they use religion to hide. There's a lot of chomos that are in the Catholic place there. And like Faceplant said, a lot of them don't even believe in God, but they use religion to hide and cover up their criminal activities. You know, whoever, you know, for the most part, all them years, people wouldn't think no preacher would do what they've been doing. Who knows what else they're doing? They could be selling drugs, using the church to cover up, and it's a tax write-off. They're getting paid to have churches. It's the $1 trillion business of the world. The word of God is $15. Come on.
Some people become nurses to hurt people.
True. It's very true, man. Look at the scientists that came over here, all because the people that ran this country said they could do what they do. That's fucked up.
There was a nurse here in Canada. Her name was Wetlaufer. She killed a whole bunch of people, like on purpose. She overdosed them on insulin, I think.
This is in the news?
Yeah, this was years ago in Canada. She killed a whole bunch of people, and they never knew how many they actually killed. She's a nurse in a hospital, and she's overdosing patients on insulin. And it was like her job to kill people, I think. Like that she for that long, get away with it for that long.
Well, yeah, it's $100 Canadian. That means, you know, I never got that when I was younger. I used to clown that. The church preaches the word of God is free, but then they charge you for the books. Oh, we got to make money. And then they say, when they pass the pot around, you know, God wants you God needs the money, or basically God wants you to donate your last fucking dollar. And then when you're leaving home broke after church, the fucking preacher drives by in his Lexus bumping fucking Wu-Tang Clan. Boom. Drives right by all the people that gave their last bucks up while he's going home to his mansion, his fucking Lexus.
Roaming Cadillac church.
Yeah. In his Sunday suit there that cost like $6,000. But whatever. Pass that collection plate.
That's like being born into a world, you know, being born into a quote unquote free world, where in some countries like America, you're literally, if you don't have health insurance, you're born into debt, right? You know, I know you guys know that. I know up here we're born so it's like crazy. You know, you want to provide a nice experience as a, you know, for your wife or as a woman for herself, you know, and you go spend all the money to have a private room and have your baby with you and all those things. And that's just like, some people go $60,000, $80,000 in debt just to give birth. That's like, I think to me, that's the same as charging for the Bible.
Look at the country in the 50s. Like, whatever happened to this country? Like, I even heard, even here in my city I live in, the projects were a lot of the projects where I'm from were housed. There used to be a Nike military base in the city, and it housed the military people and the families, these projects. All these places were nice. Even throughout, Compton, California was once, and all these places were once nice. And then around the 60s, it all went to shit somehow. You used to be able to provide for a 7-person family with one job, the man, and now you need the woman and man need to work 2 full-time jobs, just like, all because of these people, these politicians that somehow they're all related. When they get old, then you got their nieces, nephews,
design,
and all that. Yeah, of course. But a lot of people can't see that. This guy's going to change everything. 10 years later, nothing changed. It got worse. People still have faith. They want to touch that hot stove again.
can't believe this little bird here. Little bird with 1 foot, and he's the only bird that came here today. He's still here.
Wow, one bird, huh?
With 1 foot.
Huh, 1 foot.
Yeah, he's been coming here for a couple weeks. Little sparrow with 1 foot, and he comes around when there's no other birds around. He's about 6 feet away from me right now.
One foot, huh? It sounds like something tried to eat him and he got away.
Yeah, or he got it caught in something.
Or he got it caught in something, and in the struggle he broke it off to free himself, like in the movie Saw. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the movie Portal tonight.
Did you hear about the stupid wolf who got caught in a trap and he chewed 3 legs off before he got out?
What?
That's a joke, right?
Yeah.
You know the mouse traps that have glue on them? I watched a little mouse start nibbling his legs off so he could get off the sticky mouse trap, and I'm like, wow. It was really trying to. I pulled it off though. I felt bad, man. The little mouse had all 4 feet stuck in his goo. They can't get out. That goo, you're stuck. So I sat there with a stick and tried to it took an hour for me to get him out.
Oh my god.
Oh, shit, he's not in here now. Shit. I was going to say something likely profound. I got to wait for him to come back now. Crap. It has to do with situations like we're just now talking about gnawing off limbs. I think it's important. I think the movie Saw was trying to tell us something. And to make sure they got their point across, they made 3 of them bitches. Come on, Chuck, come back to your own video, bro.
I never saw those.
You never saw Saw? You never seen Saw?
I never saw a lot of movies.
I like the ones that likely have a message, a hidden message in there. TV shows also, like Silo. Silo is a really good one. And then there's another one called, crap, Mike, what's the other one called? Oh, it's called From, F-R-O-M, From. I told you about Silo. From is a show where people could be coming from anywhere in the United States or in the world and end up in this town where they're trapped and no one can get out until they figure out how to get out. And how the season ended, ironically, is one lady went away that no one else knew to go, and it led her to a lighthouse, and a little boy pushed her from the lighthouse so that she would die over there in that town, but so that she would be able to go back home. And I got all choked up because I just recently found out that I'm also a lighthouse in my birth chart in elevated astrology. Okay, you're back, Chuck. I'm going to pull myself together here and ask you something that is likely a profound question. If you knew you were trapped here, would you gnaw your leg off or your foot off in order to get out?
Probably not.
I would.
Because how are we going to move anywhere with 1 leg?
Wow. If you're free, you have wings.
That would be crazy to chew your leg off. Oh, man. Talk about pain. And then you got to inflict your own pain. Think about that one.
But that might be what we have to do, something along the lines of that effect, some kind of sacrifice, self-sacrifice in order to get out.
That sounds like Jesus. That sounds like Those
Well, he
people
supposedly
that
did
would-
it for everybody, but we have to do it for ourselves.
his
I'll
father left him
sacrifice
for dead.
my straw man. I'll let him have my straw man. That's
Yeah,
what I'll
burn that
sacrifice.
bitch. We gotta burn them straw mans. That's what we gotta do. Maybe that's it. Yeah. Get rid of them straw mans. Fake ass straw mans they made of us. Those voodoo dolls. I'm gonna add that shit. It just came to me. Those damn voodoo dolls they made of us. We need to burn them.
It's very hot today. I think I'm gonna watch that movie, either Portals or I download this other movie, Dungeons and Dragons. Or I might watch
Getting some
Littlefoot
rain.
again.
Huh?
Watch
Might
that
watch
movie.
what?
That movie Littlefoot.
Oh.
I mean Smallfoot. It's a good movie.
I'm gonna go back and.
Huh?
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go back and catch up what I missed this morning. Here. That's what I'm gonna do.
Nice.
And then you'll be back.
No, I mean when we go today, I'm gonna go back and catch up on the. I was keeping up, but I've had my stepdaughter had some stuff going on this morning, and it had me, 80% invested. So I missed. Sometimes I have to just watch the pictures, and I missed some of the story then. So I thought I'd got enough, but that cracked egg thing made me feel stupid. Not gonna lie. It's okay. I made myself do it. It's fine. It's okay. It's that's an exaggeration. It's just a good observation on my part to, it makes sense. That's all I'm saying. A closed system with, an egg by itself, is valuable in its source, but it isn't the object of its creation, right? So, and we're the object of its creation.
I'm going to send you this video.
There's something infinite about the realm too that you can't put in an egg, I don't think. An egg is finite, right? I think.
But maybe the Russian doll aspect of it? Some sort of Russian doll. It is a very complicated, very complex egg.
I got a complex egg.
I got an egg complex.
Like an onion, all the different layers. And maybe that's why people like Elon keep shooting rockets at it, trying to, crack it open, because isn't that how a baby bird escapes its egg? Peck, 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 poke, poke, poke until it gets out. And I think the more that they crack the dome, the more cold air it lets in. And that's why we are having not proper summers anymore. We're having cold nights because of the cold air that's coming in. Because they say it's really cold out there.
Who knows? Oh, I tried to download that movie, The Dark Tower. I gotta watch that one.
That's another one, yep. Yep, Dark Tower.
I might say I finally paid bit the bullet and bought YouTube Premium. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't do that sooner. What a silly non-investment.
Really? What?
Yeah, well, I just mean it's nice to not have to close through ads and stuff. It sure makes a difference.
Yeah,
but there's supposed to be other goodies.
Hashtag not worth.
Hashtag not worth it.
Not worth, he says. Aww.
Yeah, and people don't get paid to have commercials. That's their living.
Oh, okay. All right, well then I'll just do it. It's the first month's free, right?
I would never pay these clowns nothing.
Well, you pay, but I guess if it's free and you decide not to have it, they have to give you your money back.
They would have to offer Chuck a pretty bag for me to get monetized. They better pay me like 80 grand a month. Some of these channels get 6 figures. They have no good content. All they do is talk shit all day, down people, and
Good point.
dance the same songs. It's like, how, man, these people are getting 6 figures to act like fools. More power to them. I don't want to be a hater, but I'm just, pointing out the truth. It hurts. I should get a shirt that says the truth hurts. And then I'm going to put a picture of, and I'll put a whole bunch of truths in the back, like the Earth level, the straw man. I don't know. I have some ideas for t-shirts. That's going to be my next hustle, t-shirts.
Yeah, truth hurts, but that's not my fault. And then put all the truth stuff on the back.
Right. That's even better. It's not my fault.
Yeah, truth hurts, but it's not my fault. I had to create that saying. You can take it and run with it. Anyone can. Please run with it. Because that's, when the truth pisses people off, they're all mad at you. And it's like, wait, go fucking slow the hell down. We're talking about facts here, and you're pissed about facts? Well, if that hurts you, that's not my fault.
It reminds me of, it was Professor, what the hell is it? Dave. It was Professor Dave versus Dave Weiss.
I knew you were going to say this. Yep, whenever you say Professor, bro, I know you're going to say Dave. Anyway, my bad. Fuck that dude. I agree with you. You got it.
Dave Weiss was tearing them up with the facts, and all he kept producing was theories and calling names to Dave Weiss, calling him names, and I'm like, this dude's a clown, bro. Like, how could anyone back this guy? Like, he couldn't take the ass whooping he was served, and just kept regurgitating theories and calling Dave Weiss names, and people were saying Dave Weiss didn't go hard enough, and he took the guy calling the names and he was being professional. He didn't respond because Dave Weiss is running a professional business. I get it, but Dave Weiss stomped that dude out. A lot of people said Dave Weiss lost, but no, he didn't. All Professor Dave did was regurgitate theories. It was sad. Yeah, and when they get and when people start losing, that's when the name calling starts. When they get back to the corner with facts, it hurts. They start name calling.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, bro. A lot of regressive behavior. And yeah, man, it's like the audacity, right? It's like, because there's some type of supposed consensus that if you would argue anything other than the globe theory that's presented, you're a fucking moron, basically. So that's why, like, in Professor Dave's mind, Dave Weiss is so below him, he doesn't even have to engage in any type of articulation or back and forth argument / debate, whatever, presenting a case. He just has to keep reminding Dave Weiss how much of an idiot he is because he holds a certain set of belief systems. And that's really the even more frustrating part, is just the blind, the pompous blindness, the blind arrogance of people. You could even argue he's an agent or whatever. I think he's just some douchebag that, just like, what was it, Fight the Flat Earth, FTFE, which I thought was Fuck the Flat Earth at first, but the guy that debates with Bro Sanchez, the nerdy dude from the UK or over in Europe somewhere, I think he's British. Yeah, man, same thing. Just fucking pompous douchebags that the whole main thing is flat earthers are stupid, Yeah. What were you saying, though? All right, Charles.
No, I didn't say none. My phone's ringing.
Yeah, well, you were making a great point with Professor Dave.
I don't know. I like Professor Dave. And his, I just think like a lot of these so-called flat earthers. What?
You said you like Professor Dave.
No, come on, his the work he comes with. I don't like him like that. Come on, fucking he a lot of these flat earthers though, they leave out fucking a lot of stuff, man. Like I could see
You're
they're
talking about
just
Dave Weiss. You were mixing up. You said my bad. Yeah, is it okay? I was making sure I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, okay. Dave Weiss.
Yeah, Dave
Weiss.
Weiss.
Said Professor Dave.
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm not even trying to do a gotcha. I'm just making sure I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Lucid. I said the same thing. What happened to D Marble? D Marble flew all the way to Alaska to prove that the sun and moon are going around Mount Meru or whatever people want to call it. He went all the way to Alaska to show. He went and stood in the area and he recorded the sun going 360 around him. It never went down. He went to a lake. Bought some lasers. He put it like, I forgot how far above the ground. Not far. The laser. It was less than an inch. The laser above the ground. I forgot. And the laser went all the way across the water without any curvature. And he debunked that 8 inches per mile square. And I forgot how long this lake was, man. It was pretty damn far. And I mean, yeah, D Marble did a lot of projects, a lot of experiments, I meant to say. And I got respect for D Marble and David. Like, it seems a lot of these flat earthers, I don't know, I'm not speaking for them, but it seems they don't further their research. Like, I don't hear the cosmic egg brought up. I don't hear the analemma of the sun and moon traveling in the 8, which always reminds me of the infinity of the sun and moon. I'm trying to think of other stuff. There's just so much more when you further your research. No, I don't know if D Marble was doing the van life for a while, Lucid, but then he ended up getting his own place. And I went and checked his channel, and the last video he made, I think, was like 8 months ago, probably longer. Yeah, Professor Dave's, I haven't seen what he talks about on his channel, because after that Dave vs. Dave there, I was like, man, this guy, that really irks me when people are speaking facts and all people can do is call people names, man. That's just so childish. It's all right to be wrong, but people don't want to accept the truth because they're afraid they're going to laugh at me. My friends laugh at me all the time. I don't care. I know I'm right.
Yeah. Shit, now I forgot what you said. I was going to say something. I lost it.
I'm trying to figure out in the chat. Osunemi said, not all people from UK is like that. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, who's talking about the UK? I don't know. Anyway.
I heard. I can't remember what you said, Charles, but I heard it. And when you heard it, whatever you said, I was envisioning like an archetype, and just an archetype, not a generalization, a specific male. And you'd made a reference to Britain or England or something. So, in my chat, I made the comment in the chat. Just you know. Just
all I
just
had
hope you
said was
draw any
something
attention.
about that Fight the Flat Earth guy. I knew he's from somewhere in Europe or the UK.
Oh.
That's all I said. I don't know if anyone said anything else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. I feel like I picked up on the same thing, whatever someone said, and to me, it was just this archetype of some sort.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm doing something in the background here, so I don't remember any. I don't know.
Well,
I didn't make it. All I know is I didn't make any generalizations. Is what it's like. So,
damn, what was I going to say now? Shit.
You know, I didn't even know that FTFE was against the flat Earth when I first signed up. And because of that, I really confused myself listening to him the first couple times.
Yeah, I don't even consider myself a flat earther no more. Yeah, I haven't in over a year. I started to realize when I started seeing a lot of channels going live and doing the flat earth versus globe. Yeah, I agree with you, Osanyemi. I just wanted to. Anyway, I'll say something about that in a minute. But I started seeing channels always doing like arguments and stuff. And it's like, you can't, I don't know. Debating is for certain people. They like to flex their ego and stuff. Me, it don't move me. I don't like debates. But what you're saying, Osanyemi, I agree. If one person does something, I don't blame the whole group. When I first learned what racism was, I refused to be like any racist people. I don't. To me, racism's like one person does something bad and they blame a whole so-called group of people. That to me is like, I don't know. Racism is just somebody with their heart full of hatred. They use that as an extension of their hatred. It's like an excuse.
Yes, I agree.
I think in breaking down some of the stereotypes that have been embedded in all of us, understanding the what am I trying to say? Twinges, the inflictions of pain in each other is valid. You know, working through them and trying to understand what even if our intentions are good, we'll get to the right language and understanding of each other. You know. Yeah, I know that I learned something very valuable that I've been working on today, but you know, I can't get a perspective of something outside yourself. You can only conjecture other people's, what's going on outside yourself. You know, I can go and watch videos of myself a million times, but I'm still going to only be myself watching myself. Right. So to have perspectives of other people is really valid. And actually more enforcing for things I might see in myself that I know affect people, but until someone tells me, I don't really know it, you know? So again, it's like understanding that, you know, we're what did Lucid said, indoctrinated apathy, you know? It's just a little inherent in the way I think it is part of how we interrelate autonomously instead of in a community, beyond all the division. I think we're so individual in our culture that apathy is ingrained and we're all running with our own perspectives. So you know, I just, yeah, I think there's something to learn from all that. Yeah.
They're trying to intensify that by keeping us apart and secluded as well, trying to really kick us when we're down.
Yeah, they can't defeat a country united. They have to get us divided. I'm gonna end this in like 10 minutes. What time is it? It's late here. It's not late, but yeah, I'm not gonna erase this. I don't ever want to erase some of these chats, but in order to like change them, I gotta download a 7-hour or 5-hour live, and then that takes so much memory when you have a phone. And man, it's a pain in the ass. I did it one day. It was a 7-hour live, and then after you download it and you put it in the thing to take out what you want, now you gotta piece that together and re-upload it. So it takes a lot of memory to do that. That's why people with computers have it the best. They have terabytes and they can just do it simply.
Well, YouTube used to give you the chance to just edit the one that's already there, and then it just does its processing, editing out all the parts that you clipped out, and then the same video just stays up edited. So I don't know why they stopped doing it. You shouldn't have to download it. You should be able to edit it right there in Studio.
I know you could silence certain parts from what I figured out, but that's it. I don't know. Or you could silence the music that's being played or something. I don't know. But I've gotten these copyright things, and when I look up what the copyright is, it don't even add up to the song I played. It's like someone else. It's like, what? Like, I think sometimes they just slap you. Like, you could play a video and they could have a second of a song, and then they'll copyright you for that whole song.
Yep, that's why I never play anything. TV, radio, nothing when I'm live on anybody's channel, much less my own.
It's ridiculous, though. I mean, this is so... YouTube has gotten so strict and commercialized. Like, I was watching it again today, and it made me think about the cable. Like, it's really turned into this... It reminds me of the cable. You can watch movies, everything, all these channels with millions of people for the most part are like, all the rappers and actors are coming here. It's a joke, man. You got Satanists on here claiming they're Christians and they wear Jesus shirts, and it's like, bro, you're only fooling yourself. You ain't fooling me. I go to the Hollywood parties all the time with a Jesus shirt on.
And where the so-called copyright crap is, we have not kidnapped their device or their picture or whatever. We have not claimed it as our own. We have not tried to sell it at all. We are not monetized channels. So how in the fuck is it copyright? Should only be copyright if I'm trying to make money off of your shit.
That's what it says in the law, the copyright
That's
law.
how it should be. But they're overstepping their bounds, and I just want them to know that I know that. I see right through that.
Yeah, I looked the law up too, and it said the same thing. I said, I'm not monetized. I'm not making a dime, and these people are hitting me with, like, I'm selling their product. It says it in the law. You cannot sell something that's copyrighted as yours. You can't. That's not what I'm doing. I don't, like you said, I don't make money. Copyright. I'm not monetized, so why are they? I don't know. They have their ways. I'm gonna make a video on that law. That's a good idea. I'm gonna make a video on that law.
Yeah. Well,
There is weird. Yeah, I wanted to say thanks very much, Charles, for having me up. I see that. I don't know if Christos is okay. No, I don't know if Christos still wants to come back up. I think I know he asked to drop the link. I know you're headed out, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and I also there's fishy stuff goes. I appreciate the ad. Not keeping the premium because I do want money to go to people. I only paid for 1 month. That's why I didn't get 1 month free because I didn't sign up for a year. So. Just valid input. I love always getting perspectives from people. So I really appreciate being here. Love you all. Love the chat. Love the panel. And you make me a better person. You help me make myself a better person. So YouTube does funky things though. 183 watch time hours I got, and now it's down to 178. So I'm gonna go Google and see how you.
What?
Yep, lost 5 hours. Lost 5 hours this morning. Yep, I was yep.
Oh,
I was just talking to a friend and we were talking about how the analytics work.
They take my views. They take my views. They take probably my hours. They take my likes. They take everything, man. One day, man, it's a joke. That's why I refuse. These people want me to get monetized for what? So you could rob me some more, or control me.
They think they can force us to pay them money that we don't have, and they know we don't have it.
Well, interestingly, they make. Sorry, Paula.
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Interestingly, they make it seem like they do make money off people once you're working for them. They're working for you. They're your agent essentially. They take a cut. So it's just so strange that they don't want you to get there. Now this watch time minutes, maybe there's a calculation that's not to the second, not to the minute, just to the 5 minute mark initially, and to show all the little bits that people watched. And then maybe there's some other algorithm that goes through and does a more precise calculation, and they can show that many hours were added in round up minutes. I'm going to Google how you lose watch time on YouTube. I'm sure someone has some story that legitimizes it,
That would be interesting to know, because I want to say now I feel like that might be the case. I think you might be onto something.
Yeah. But they could also say, sorry, Paula.
I was just saying because it's logical. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. That's all I was going to say too. I know I did this backwards. I should have said goodbye at the end. Said all this and said goodbye. But yeah, that I think that that would be and then behind that, they could take hours away from you and you'd never know, right? Just like when they hold your paycheck at the bank for 5 days, they make interest on all that money, right? They always have. So they're taking more of their cut. So just like they'd be keeping more of your minutes till you get monetized or whatever. So yeah. Again, thanks so much. What a great build. Like I said, I'm going to go back and watch the rest of it. I thought maybe one of these days, if there's anyone in the chat that wants to stream, that misses and wants to stream Charles stuff together, I could do a private StreamYard. We could hang out and catch up. Just a thought. Anyways, love you all. Thanks very much.
Love you.
Thanks, Bex.
See you soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a movie premiere one day. I'm gonna play probably either Smallfoot or 9. One of the 2 movies. But yeah, I'm about to just chill out, watch something. I don't know what movie.
Okay. Me too. So until next time, I love you all.
Thank you, Paula. One love.
Yes,
Face
one
Plant,
love.
thank you too. And Osanyemi, thank you for coming up and sharing. Chris, Dean, thank you. Lucid, Dominic, Bex, So Ama. Let me go back further. not forget, but it's not going to let me say it. AI. What's that guy's name right here? Professor Prophet Levi. Who else? I'm trying to think now off top. Oh, let me go back more. I guess that's it. It stops here. Anyway, Phil. I remember Phil came too. But peace and salute to everybody. I missed your name. It's not on purpose. Watch Don Peyote. I have to check that out. Oops. Peace out, everyone, man. One love. Let's keep on working together, man. This is what we need. I'm out of here. Peace.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. I was just away making French fries. So thanks, everybody. Much love.
Thank you,
We'll
Baseline. Have
We'll
a good
talk.
night. All right.
You too, man.